Hello, and welcome. It's 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time here in beautiful Lafayette, Indiana. It's Trucking Answers, and we are live, as we always do on Mondays. Thank you for being here, everyone. It's good to see everyone. It's going to be a hot week, so be ready for that. It's brake check week also. They're going to focus on hoses and tubing, and Officer John T. said, this was a quote out of one of the articles, "Up your nose with the rubber hose." So I thought that was pretty interesting. The ATA says, hey, you know what all these drivers are doing? Causing inflation. So stop doing that. Have you seen this Tesla humanoid robot? It doesn't have that much to do with trucking, but holy mackerel. Yikes. There's a truck leasing task force out, and there's some bans in Connecticut and Rhode Island. All right, I have some stocks, of course, fuel, and some Dogecoin, as always. Yeah, there's some kind of hurricane, right? And it has like a French name, Henry, and it's got a accent line. Okay, look, that's not that scary. And I commented the other day about Fred. Fred is not a scary name for a hurricane. Get some scarier names, some kind of monster names. Fred isn't exactly the scariest name for a hurricane, for crying out loud. Make it a little scarier, or people aren't going to be scared of it. I'm not scared of some French guy running around hitting me with a a baguette. I'm just not. So holy mackerel, get better names for your hurricanes. Please better name them. So anyways, it's going to be in the 90s, so get ready for that. It's been super humid here. Blast in the air as usual. Nathaniel was first today. Thanks for being here. Gonna go to Chicago. Yeah, love it. I don't know. Let me know if you love it after you get to Chicago. Happy Nomadic is here. Al Johns, what's going on? Keeping your thumb on the working person, I assume, from the office. Creature 937, what's happening? Trucker Beetle Bailey, hauling concert life is better than freight hauler life. Yeah, if you're the one, Gene Simmons, right? Sweet. Boy, that'd be nice. Is he out in concert again? Trucker Hershey's here. Grafton, hello. Let's see what's happening. Oh, Cassius King Trucking is here. What's happening out there? George Wilson. Let's see. Wow, Bill is here. Wow, what's going on? Is it a holiday? Donovan, hello. Road Float. Why do I say red? I'm thinking of the Red Scare. Road Float Express is here. Folding tarps. Oh, it's too hot to fold tarps. Get them folded early. Yikes. Kelly, what's going on? I think you got a shower, depending on the tarp, right? And do you have boxes for them? I had to just throw them on the flatbed and strap them down and hope nobody stole them. Please don't steal my tarps, I'd say. Flip Flop Fool is here. Kelly loaded in Breeze, Illinois. Where's that? Off to Washington. Wow, that's a good load. And then home to Oregon for 4 days of R4, 7-day R&R. Nice, week off in Oregon of all places. Let's see, where did I go off to here? Oh, greetings from the left-hand slow lane, Columbia, George. Yes, too many people over there in that lane. Get moving. Luke's 26th birthday. Wow, I remember there's it was just a few years ago. 26, nice. Happy birthday. Forgetting stuff is kind of funny when you're young, but when you're old, it's like, this is what I'm going to die from. Exactly. You're like, what is going on? I have to leave notes and stuff all over the place. Once you get your extreme upper 30s, the things that you should remember, you don't. How did I get here? You ever have that happen? You wake up, you're just in your underwear, and you're like in a ditch on the side of the road, and you're like, how did I get here? I've heard stories about that. Correct time zone, 2 weeks in a row. Acceleration rules, that's awesome. So, John M. not first again. The streak goes on. Wyoming to Reno today. Beautiful run. Yeah, the biggest little city in the world. Let's say that. Love going to Reno. Sparks. Everybody goes to Sparks, though. Happy birthday, brothers and sisters of the Super Slab. All finds the Super Slab. All right. Kelly says, happy birthday up there. Handsome Poochie. I feel Mark should hire Bruce Buffer for the beginning of the intro. Nice. And I would say Handsome Poochie was first the other day. Okay, so I should mention that as well. Tarps are spearheaded for Idaho. Rolling tarps in a parking lot is much easier than rolling sails on a foredeck with the ocean smashing over your head. Yes, rolling sails, right. Yeah, look, you need some big area. I always liked it in a parking lot because you can lay them out, and especially if it's not windy. So, yeah, I don't know about the ocean thing. Dolphin free, that's all I'll say. I don't know what that means. Let's go down the sounds of guitars. Are you ready for wieners? Yeah, are you? That's what they say at the club, too. Are you ready for wiener time? Sunny and 72 Minnesota, the humidity of 78%. Yikes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The dew point is super high today. Kelly's got some hoses for them. They're going to concentrate on chafing and looking at hoses and the kinked and chafing. That's what they said. So that's stuff you can look for yourself. Check that kind of stuff out. I want to put lipstick on a pig at the ATA. Nice. I have 15,000 Dodge, Red Monkey Trucking. Oh, that's why you don't have to truck anymore. Well, because it depends if you bought it at 70 cents or 2 cents. So I guess that makes a difference. Today it is 31.7 cents as of a little earlier today. Could be $1 by now. Who knows? So Valerie Peterman, Stella. DOT focusing on the hose. Yeah, they're focusing on hoses and hose and lines. Well, and the hotter it is, they're lazy like everybody else, so they're less likely to come out and check you, I think. Doug Thompson, good afternoon from the pilot in London, Ohio. Oh, just over the border. Lots of trash in the back row. Grass for the lawnmowers to mulch up. Yeah, I did I was live at the TA this weekend, but I also have a couple other truck stops on the way down there, and one of them was pretty trashy, so which I don't understand. There's a guy who went through the Cat 3 Hurricane in Gulfport. It was bonkers. Well, this one is going up the East Coast, East Side, Connecticut, Rhode Island, to have some travel bans. They said not only were like empty trucks and stuff, which is funny, motorcycle travel bans. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Fire up the old Sportster and head out into the hurricane. You're also focusing on hoses. Keep pigtail airlines off the catwalk. I learned that the hard way. Yes, George Wilson, they cannot touch the frame or anything back there. They should always be hung, and they will chafe through. Eventually, they chafe through. If they're laying down on that right, get another bungee. All you do is get another bungee to help them stay up. Absolutely. The Hool is here. What's going on? Is the roller wiener and turboprop mode? Always doing the helicopter. When a company hires you and they can't bring you on board because they have no trucks, is that a red flag? Yeah. Why would they need you if they don't have any trucks? What do they plan to do with you? So, what are the plans? I guess if you're going to get paid, I'd say, well, I guess if I get paid, I'm okay. But, what are they going to do? Is there a truck like tomorrow or something? You got a brand new pigtails the other day. I had to get a new light cord on this loaner truck. I come in the light draw blink. I'm like, back, I get a cord for it. Awesome. That was the company driver. I just leave the tarps and tell my company someone stole them so I don't have to roll them. Oh, that's good. If you're a company driver, Cash is King Trucking. Oh, man, somebody stole my tarps again. And then you get to go buy new rolled up ones and put them out there. Red Monkey Trucking enjoys Sparks, too. Yeah, it's pretty good out there. I've not woken up a ditch in my underwear since I quit drinking, Al Johns. I'm just saying, so I've heard this kind of thing. And you can't remember where you are. And it's not your underwear. Anyone else notice on I-80 in Mercer, there's a flipped over trailer that's been sitting there a month. Luke, really? People don't go collect their debris? Is it a Celadon trailer? Let's ask that. It's probably one of the Celadon ones. Todd, hey, Mark, I don't think you remember Sweet Sweet Connie in Little Rock. They did a movie and song. She just passed yesterday. No, I don't. I don't remember that. Tom T. Hall just died. I do know that. I did get that one. 80-something, 86. Hey, Mark, enjoying your truck stop checks. Well, Bill, thank you very much. There's more on the way. I have some more that'll be going up here soon. I just want to go back there and see what's back there anymore. What are we doing to the truck stop? When there's a bunch of trash and stuff, eventually the truck stop says, well, we got to pay a bunch of people to go do this, so we're going to have to start charging to park there. It's our fault. The trash, unless it's been there for days or whatever, is our fault. 64 dew point here, Cash King Trucking. Yikes, let's take a dew point check. Traffic and weather on the 2s every 10 minutes. Traffic looking good down I-65 here. Going to get the weather here, 84 degrees and sunny. And let's see, we get a dew point going on here in just a moment. The dew point is 73 degrees here right now at 84 out and a dew point of 73. That puts it oppressive. 75, it becomes at the miserable level. There's actually a chart for that. So be sure to be cool outside. Good afternoon, oh great one. I don't know about that. Thank you very much, Tony. TJ Jones at the Bull of the Woods, top of the morning. Yeah, depending where you are, certainly. It's good to see you here. John M. Funny, heard they check for chafing at the manhole. They do. You got to do. There's a little room to be checked before you go in there. It's like a coat check, but it's kind of spelled similarly. Don't we all concentrate on chafing? We try to. Gold Bond, from what Shaq says, Gold Bond can help with that. So Shaq talks about that on TV when he's not talking about the general or selling pizzas. Ken P, thank you very much. I tip the host, you lowlifes. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Shaq and I both appreciate it. And as does the general. The general. What about it? 0.18. PSC, remember, don't overheat your wieners, they'll burst. I like Mark when he's in the sun too long, no doubt. Joe, you see me even walking around doing these in the heat, right? I always pick like the hottest day to go to these truck stops. I'm out there in a long sleeve shirt. Dave Johnson, great to be here among this astute audience. Thank you very much. And the audience appreciates that. It's the most astute audience on YouTube, certainly. Well, Bill, who do you drive for? Well, that's a good question that I don't get very often, mainly because you're working. But, to keep a lot of your videos, and I see a lot of these people on here, you people across the fruited plain, on YouTube, putting their company out there and their name and everything. Okay, don't do any of that. They can, censor your videos or whatever. And also, I just don't recruit for them. I'm just not going to be doing that for my company. Let them go find their own drivers. That keeps the videos clear. And I think that's the best way to do it on here, really. I'm just sitting at home, not getting paid, waiting on them to find me a truck. Ronan Roy, 81, for orientation. Well, if you're not getting paid, you might as well go somewhere else. And I'd tell them, look, if you're not going to pay me, I got to leave. Here's the thing. If you'd like to tell us where that is, I'd love to know where it is. Or if you want to write to me, I'd still like to know where it is. But I think it's ridiculous. I would honestly ask them and say, why do you hire me if you have nothing for me to drive? Why would they hire you? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Tell me you need to get paid or you gotta move on. Because there's no point. You're not really working anywhere. If you're home not getting paid, you're not really working. Ken P, good afternoon. Mark and Gracie, well, good afternoon. She would say good afternoon, but she's sleeping. She just couldn't make it. It's too late. That breakfast just took her out. Oh, it's from a song. Oh, right. I didn't know that. See, I had too many podcasts. Road Floated Express, we steal tarps from each other. Oh, that was always the problem. I didn't do that much on flatbed, but you'd get to drop on hooks sometimes, and you'd get somebody else's tarps. So that always worked out good, especially if they had nice tarps. Brian Walker, we just got offered a load for 99 cents a mile coming out of Indy to Omaha. Wow, 99 cents. I haven't heard that in quite a while. I can't believe people are offering that today. There are companies that are on billboards in Indianapolis offering 99 cents for company drivers. Okay, so it's that one flatbed place that because I go through it every day. I see the billboards, 99 cents for company drivers. Hopefully you did not take it. Speaking of hoses, sweet Connie. Yeah, see, I don't know that one. I'm not into the classics. It's Mr. Plow. Howdy, Mark, the podcast. Thank you very much. The podcast. Road Float Express. Goodness, I appreciate it. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, I have a podcast, Trucking Answers Podcast. Go get it on your favorite podcasting thing, wherever you get your podcasts. Generally Tuesday, Friday. That's what I've been trying to do. So far, I've held to that. So it's worked out good so far. And anything you'd like on there, we can talk about it a little bit more at length than we do here, really. Because you're a little more free there. You kind of own that. Here you don't. You especially don't. Why is that people do not put their trash where it belongs? Well, Donovan, look, the one place I went to, the Loves, here over the weekend, there was so much trash that there was nowhere to put it. Driver had what, I was showing the wife the pictures, and I assume he had some of this stuff rejected, a refrigerated load. And what you should do, what our friend Cash Skink Trucking has done, is take the food to a food bank or food pantry in the area and donate it if you have that kind of food. But this was just the garbage cans filled up, and there's garbage just all over, so, and it's from one truck because it's all the same product. So, and somebody from the store is going to have to go pick that up, right? And eventually they may charge. The who will hear some companies and drivers spend a week or more in the ditch before getting towed. Towers wants paid up front and too many with no payments. Right, but I'm surprised the state doesn't tow it out of there as some kind of thing. And companies usually want their equipment back. I guess it's probably totaled, though, so they don't care. There's a lot of aluminum down there. Somebody should go down there with some snips and start snipping that thing up and bringing it up, and go and recycling it. Joey McNew. Anyone use the Hammer app? The Hammer. Really? Used it last week, and it seemed to be better for routing than Google Maps, but it's more basic. What happens with that? Plus, there's probably a red button that you can press on the Hammer app and automatically be connected to an attorney. So anybody that lives here in the Indiana area knows exactly what I'm talking about. I-29 north and south good from Missouri to Nebraska. That's awesome. Traffic and weather on the 8s. If they paved or concrete behind the trails, they could blow the trash to one end and shovel it in barrels. Paul Harris, I'll tell you what, the more you pave back there, drivers will just back over that too. This was a lot of trash. I was disappointed and surprised at the amount. The TA was in good shape where I was live, but earlier, headed south, not so much. The muggy meter is high today. Hoser smirk, no doubt. No doubt. 73 here. Dew point is considered oppressive. Be sure to be cool on there. And there was an article about if you're hot, drink water. I actually did a video about it. That will be out later this week as well. So let me let you know here. If you're hot, drink water. I'm glad they put that out there. The General's out, you call her? Yeah, Shaq. Shaq and his buddies with the General. You've seen him. You've seen him on there. Cash is King Trucking. Shaq says put Gold Bond powder on your Papa John's pizza instead of Parmesan. Hey, if Shaq sells everything on TV, that guy. Gold Bond is delicious, and so is Papa John's. So the stuff he sells is actually pretty good. Shaq must buy it by the 55-gallon drum. Shaq needs a lot of stuff. Whatever we buy, he needs 4 times of it. Chicken Hauler. Hello from beautiful Alabama. After 6 weeks away, it's next to be back in the truck again. Only banged a few gears after the long break. Wow, how do you get out of a truck for 6 weeks? Holy mackerel. Astute word truck drivers don't use those complicated words. Oh, well, I figure drivers now can Google that up or whatever if they're not. Company's name is NFI. They're running a Cisco account in Front Row. Yeah, NFI, they advertise here for some bread account in Lebanon. They forever advertise. How do they not have trucks? And are they going to get your truck like tomorrow? We have a truck tomorrow. Otherwise, if you're not being paid and you're just sitting at home with no date, you really don't really work anywhere. You should at least Uber on your off time or something. I just don't understand it. They need to get your truck or pay you. My dad liked the storyteller Tom T. Hall. They both got called home the same year. I like Tom also. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. But Tom T. Hall, Harper Valley PTA. One of the songs you'll know, just great storyteller through songs. Great guy. Everybody knows. Say the name. Everybody knows it. I love the podcast. It's Mr. Play. Yeah, I appreciate that. And for mentioning it, which I appreciate. But the podcast Tuesday, Friday. So head over there. You can get me only through your ear hole. You don't have to look at me. You don't have to have the aggravation of actually looking at me. Although I suppose people could just turn their phone down or whatever. Hurricane Shutlu. Yeah, exactly, James Bowman. Something crazier. These French names that people can't pronounce. And Fred. I saw Gracie. That's not scary. She's sleeping. That's not that scary. Just hung up on the broker. Yeah, you should call him back and go, really? Did I hear you right? Oh, you meant $2.99, I'm sure. It better be like one pallet. I could see it at like one pallet or, a very small partial so you can put something else in there. You're like, oh, it's 2 pallets, it's 2,000 pounds or something. But for a load, 99 cents? No. 81 at Dew Point in Boston, Gus. Holy moly. That is super bad. From Grand Funk Railroad. Oh, see, that's too hard rock for me. I can't do that hard rock stuff, man. 99 cents a mile sounds like you put the decimal point in the wrong spot. Cash Escape Trucking. Yeah, I'm sure you fell over hearing that. Even I'm surprised at that. I don't know that much about rates, but I know 99 cents today is like a 2 pallet partial or something that goes in a Sprinter. That's no way. Road Float Express. Oh, it's red. 99 cents. Geez, I didn't know kids on bicycles with wagons were in the trucking business. Yeah, maybe if that's something you could put a pallet in the back of a pickup truck, that might be worth doing. But otherwise, forget it. Podcasts are the best, no video. Nowhere to leave snarky comments. There's somehow you can comment, right? Somewhere. I get Podbean, I guess, lets people comment. Because once in a while I'll get a comment. You have a comment on Podbean. I'm like, what's a Podbean? So, you'd have to email me with snarky comments. So, that's true. So, we both get a benefit out of it. Mark, what dash cam do you recommend I'm buying one? Adam, well, I use that Acaso dash cam. They don't make that one anymore that I use. There's a pro version of it now that they do make. So, and I actually have one, an 8-man is coming. Somebody wrote to me from China. Hey, Mark, would you try this dash cam? I'm like, yeah, send it. Let's see. So, that's coming. I haven't tried that one yet. It didn't come yet. But I use that Acaso for years. I put them in my cars too. You see it in some of the videos when I do live video. There's a dash cam in there. As I got one free and I bought 2 more. So I like it, but they don't make that one. That's the one I use because it can go both ways. Kind of like at the manhole. But you can video inside as well. But Mark, you don't like to be videoed. I understand. But if you have a police officer or somebody at your window talking to you, you can turn that on. And then there's no question about what happened because it's being videoed. I think it's a good idea for that. If it's not a hazard or not blocking traffic, it's a civil matter. Yeah, but let's get it out of there. I mean, we're blocking out, everything. They're out in Huntington Beach. Roger Penske, nice. That aluminum isn't that much money in it these days. Well, there's a lot of it. A trailer weighs a lot. Doug, I thought, call the hammer. Yeah, I thought this guy's got an app now. The truck in the ditch may have the driver in his underwear and no one wants to go near it. The driver's laying there too. How did I get here? He's still there. It's not even his underwear. I had 2 pallets of mechanically separated chicken rejected one time. Had to find a landfill. I did think about dumping it at the TA, but I didn't have a pallet jack. Cash King Trucking. Well, when I have this video up, you will see there's actually a CHEP pallet laying on the ground also. A CHEP. So not only they throw stuff out there, and it's not on the pallet, they also threw out the pallet. And it's a CHEP pallet. I thought, well, I can probably get $2 for that if I drove that pallet 125 miles to Chicago. Hey guys, IDI Ford V8. I finally listened to your podcast and really enjoy them. Please keep coming. Keep them coming. I will. Thank you. I'm a younger guy and really learned a lot of trucking then versus now, and your stories are funny. Well, I appreciate that very much. And I'm also a younger guy, so we have that in common. Traffic wasn't too bad across 71 Bridge in Cincinnati on Saturday. Plus, I watched your first video from 4 years ago. Well, I'm sorry about that you had to subject yourself to that. But, yeah, I don't cross the bridge down there, but that's good. That's good, JC King. I don't go that far south. I start to get scared. I start crossing too many lines. State lines, I get scared. So that's good. Is it normally bad on the weekends, though? I just saw the shack on a commercial with computer printers. Really? Oh, that's a new one for him. I like when Mark told his work, no, I'm not doing it. You can stay at home. Yeah, okay, exactly. You got to be, when you say something to work, you got to be ready to go, fine. I don't care. And then they're like, uh-oh, now what do we do? That's the thing of it. Be ready. A Red Monkey Trucking, that would be something, but they wouldn't be able to put it only on cable, right? Was heavy on Niagara water. Heavy water? What is heavy water? I think that these really bad hurricanes had... Oh, I see. The water itself is heavy. I think these hurricanes... I thought, well, is this atomic water? These really bad hurricanes had better names. People would be more likely to evacuate. I know. I mean, oh, Hurricane Fred is coming. Evacuate. Oh, you're like, wow, Fred. It needs to be scarier. Nathaniel's making 80 cents a mile as a company driver. Can you imagine owning a truck and getting offered 99 cents a mile? Even if you didn't have a truck payment. Let's say you owned a truck. Okay, 99 cents is not going to cut it. Holy mackerel. Hey, Mark, and everyone from Texas going to Mississippi. Well, welcome. I'm good. It's super humid there. A Cash King Trucking, do you buy any merch from Heartland America? Heartland America. I quit my job at Zenith 2 weeks ago. Really? I thought you loved that place. And I actually like the idea of motels every night and hub miles. What happened? My boss quit 3 weeks ago, and the guy that they replaced him with and I did not get along because he had unreasonable expectations. So it's either strangle a guy or quit, huh? That's true. Well, can't you get a different person there? I mean, that's pretty tough to quit a job because your boss leaves. I mean, I don't like the people here, but I wouldn't quit because they leave. They leave all the time. They're forever either quitting or getting fired. Extreme upper 30s, we already know. Yes, exactly. I'm in a totally unrelated subject. I hate my job. Really? How come? You have, like, of all the people, probably you have one of the best jobs going. Hurricane Dahmer. All right. I'm all ate up about that one. That'd be Hurricane Hillary would be the scariest one. I only hate my tech advice. I only take my tech advice from 7-foot-tall guys that were once good at putting a ball in a hoop. Cash King Trucking. Yeah. Here, and I will tell you this. He may know a lot about Gold Bond, okay, and stuff like that. So that might be true. And I bet he eats a lot of pizza. Hurricane Biden. Where is it? I don't know. It can't find me. Why is it every light turns red when I come through Lafayette? Flat highway. I'm sorry about that. If you're coming down Sagamore, right, 52, which is what I call it, 52, although they moved 52, they're constantly red and they're untimed. But look at night, all the beautiful lights we have down 52 since they beautified the town. We have these light poles in the center of the road. And they change colors slowly, LED lights. Oh, it's so nice. There were millions of dollars. Now that I think about it, Shaq was plugging Epson printers. Okay. Hurricane human slaughter. Wow. Now we're getting really tough. Now they're tougher. A friend of mine left Creep for Gemini. Loves paying $27 an hour after 40 hauling tires to the store. So that's not bad. And ironically, I saw there's 2 jobs in Indy I thought I wanted to compare. They're like almost right next to each other today. So you have to be very careful. Siva Logistics is offering $19.57 in Indianapolis. They're both local. Transforce is offering $28 an hour plus overtime. So that's a huge difference. $8 an hour. I mean, it's $3.20 just on 40 hours. So you got to be very careful about that. My boss quit, and me and him got along. The guy that took over was somebody who was like 32 and 3 states away instead of in the same building. Is that a problem, though? Maybe it is. It depends on how your job goes or whatever. You know, I don't know what the situation was there. As long as they leave you alone, I don't mind. You know, where they are. Hurricane Shack. Was all this powder? Early. Oh, sure. Because this just looks just like Gracie, ironically, right now. Very close to it. Although she's on the couch because the sun's, I guess, too warm for her. She can only take so much, you know, before she's out. Any sunbeam and they're out for a while. Hurricane Fred sounds like a big-time wrestling name. Like a wrestling name, you know, but like local wrestling. Like you go see at your own civic center or something. Next up, Hurricane Fred. I got here when I go to Virginia, and I'm from Memphis. Worked in West Memphis, yikes, and stayed in East St. Louis for a while, so when I'm scared, there's a reason. Yeah, no doubt. They had no idea what they were doing, so whenever an issue came up, he never answered the phone, he never responded to text, then he would blame the issue on me for not communicating. Trucking journeys. Oh, well, you got to send a email. You got to get his email and send it to him so that he can't deny getting anything. And at that place is big enough to have a corporate headquarters. You make some calls. You just start calling and tell them, look, I got all day to make phone calls. Well, you got to work. I got all day to start emailing and phone calling everybody at the company until somebody listens to me. Yeah. Hurricane Kruger. I wonder if people remember who that is now. I went through that for a week, and we got into a really big argument, and we both just kind of agreed if I didn't quit, he would fire me and probably get into, you're fired? Now put them up. Put up your dukes. Good morning in Los Angeles, Mr. Crowley. Good morning, L.A. Hurricane Annihilate. Oh, my gosh. Hurricane Catastrophic. Well, here now we got the problem of just the general public not understanding that. There's no switching dispatchers at Zenith. Dispatcher for that area is the only dispatcher for that area. Trucking Journeys. Oh, then you got to go up. See, then I would enjoy aggravating him through the corporate structure. The place is big enough to have somebody up, go down and gripe at him. If you name it Biden, we'll forget it's a hurricane and go watch Matlock and eat pudding. Oh, with Bill Cosby. I had another job the next day, Trucking Journeys. Well, that's the thing about it right now. If you do have a trucking issue, there's another trucking company that would like to talk to you immediately. About Hurricane Biden. Went to Martin doing home weekly. Pay is guaranteed at $1,500 for me. Oh, I didn't know. Would they have a terminal down there? What do you think about going refrigerated? And this was always a tip that I gave people refrigerated. I always would do this. If you have a load that you're picking up, especially like today, it's so hot this week, and it is a dry load, all right? So you're not going to need to run the reefer. Run the reefer. Turn the reefer on about an hour before you get to where you're going for pickup or delivery. If you have a chute especially, right? Chute runs along the top to get the air to the back. Put it on, 55, 58 degrees or whatever. Tell those guys, look, you load me. My trailer's nice and cool, so if you'll load, I can't leave it running very long, though, so if you can load me right away, I'll leave it cool in there for you. Yep. Then go sit next to some dry van who can't do that. Hurricane Biden would be a Cat 3, but the media would say it was a Cat 1, and soon would smoke crack. Only depends if it had its shot, right? Hurricane Smooge, isn't that the word used for when you're talking about the driver turning right in your lane from your left? Oh, schmagagi, right. Look, that's schmagagi. Look, I don't understand it. Do not back up on a road. I don't know. Did nobody learn that? You cannot back up. 99 cents sounds like a broker trying to take 80% of the rate. The thing is, a broker's got to know that putting a load up for 99 cents or calling someone, nobody's going to take that. Even an Amazon truck with a Columbia from, who knows, from an FLD, is not going to take that load. A Blicky at 40 cents a mile. That's pretty low today at the moment. I got general insurance. I was made whole after Hurricane Jack. We're nice. Yeah, hey, did you know they've been in business for 60 years and they're a quality insurance company? Color changing lights down the middle of the road. Now that's a wise way to spend taxpayer money. If you ever come here to Lafayette, go through all the way through town on Sagamore Parkway, which is partly US 52, and otherwise it's the main road through town. They put colored lights, and they're huge light poles, and the whole pole lights up, and they change colors, and the colors, come and go throughout the night. It's very, very nice. It took them like all last year to put those in, and they're great. Now the lights are not all, they don't talk to each other, the street lights or whatever, the red lights, so you'll stop at each light, but while you're sitting there, you're like, wow, this is amazing. You're bathed in red light and then blue light and yellow light. Met Shaq at Witch's house in Salem, Massachusetts. He had to walk down the middle of the house. His head went into the ceiling. Yeah, that's a problem of being gigantic. I was waiting on you, Pops. Yeah, Trucker Lee. Okay. He was a pretentious douche. Really? Who blamed his ineptitude on me? Oh, that guy? Right. Okay. I thought we were talking about Shaq here. Hurricane murder. It's murder hurricanes. No skin off my back. Yeah, I agree. I just like messing with people like that. When you have a corporate structure on a place that's bigger and you can just do a few emails, it gets them super aggravated. Always get paid for your time and don't accept any less. Absolutely. I mean, that's got to be the whole thing, right? YouTuber riding with Dave quit after a year with CFI. Burnout. Quit driving or quit CFI? Hurricane syphilis. Yikes. Some people are like, well, it can't hurt me. Can't get it again. Can't have it 2 times at once. So many slow 67 mile an hour less company trucks clogging up 70 east of Indy. Always. And they're always going to pass each other. I see this down 74 all the time too. Creeping along because one can go a little bit faster because their tires are a little bit different size. He's not driving now. Okay, I mean, only a couple of percent. Between 2 and 5% of people last 5 years in trucking. So yeah, I totally understand it. I mean, the road is tough. And I don't know, people should be out there until they're really explained what's going to happen. They really need to think about it. I mean, being gone, the whole job, everything. Not just, oh, it's awesome and the public loves you and you're a hero. Heavy water, opposed to regular water, contains neutrons in its nucleus. It's used to cool nuclear reactors, Roger Penske. That's what I'm saying. It was this heavy water, but I'm thinking the trailer just had water in it, and so it's heavy because drivers will say this load is heavy, this load is light, because it has water, but it's only because of the amount of water, not because water's heavier than anything else. A pound of something is always a pound of something, right? Sage News, hey, what's happening? I need to switch over to night driver. My nerves are shot from four-wheel daytime drivers. William Hugo, yeah, let's do it. Come on out at night. The later it is, the nicer it is. Cool, too. GP Transco's here. Good afternoon. Hey, what's going on out there? Humid in Joliet, I assume. People sweating to death playing basketball. Trucking journeys. Terminal in Dallas is decent. But reefer, I've run off reefer for 4 years, so it's no big. So you know the tip of turning it on before you load a dry load and getting it cool in there, and let the drivers, the forklift drivers, stay cool if they'll load you right away. And say, look, if you can't get me loaded, I got to turn it off because I'm going to get in trouble. And that's how you get them in your trailer to load you quicker on a hot day like this. Do you have any why we're not on Mars for the live feed? Not here, I don't. That's I do a segment like I'm some news show. I do a segment on the podcast of why we're not on Mars. So there's generally some reason of some idiot who is stupid. And that's another reason why we're not on Mars yet. So, but I don't have one for here. Mildly annoying hurricane would be Hurricane Poison Ivy. Yeah, boy, this is going to be not too bad. Maybe that's what they should do. Is winner last week's TV here? Please know whether you already got it. We threw into soundbar as well. Nice soundbar. So this person's rocking out. And I don't know if they're here or not, so we'll see. I'll tell you what, for how little work Martin is, I'd sure they'd take every opportunity to throw money at me. Good. Tell them, look, just keep throwing money at me. Hi, how old are my Gold Bond medicated powder every day? Right. That's good. Hey, we could put it everywhere. I don't know if it has a warning for that. Not a doctor. Memphis Bridge is lit up like crazy. Sweet. Aren't you proud you live in Lafayette? Look, that road, I mean, that should go on a postcard. Wish you were here kind of postcard. We spent tons of money, took them all summer to put those lights in. They're sweet. No 44,000 Niagara drinking water. Told the broker $4.99 to take that trash. No man's land. Nice. That's better. Now for $4.99 we can talk, but for 99 cents, that's ridiculous. I mean, there's no owner-operator, I don't think, that would take that, even in an FLD. Memphis Bridge has been lit up for the inspectors the last 5 years. Yeah, except they probably didn't go there. I assume that they just checked some boxes off, and that's probably what happens to a lot of bridges. Now I'm even more scared. Hurricane Hive has been upgraded to Hurricane AIDS, HIV. Yeah, but now it can live. The hurricane can just keep on living. Another PSA, don't use your high beams to let another trucker know it's all clear. It blinds the driver. Why is this an issue today? I don't know why drivers really ever did this, to be honest with you. I don't do it unless it's heavy rain or something where I really think the driver has a difficult time seeing. And I turn the lights off and back on. Never high beam. I just think, look, drivers drive all over the country. You should be able to change lanes. You know, that's what I think. So like on today, it's sunny out or whatever. I won't be doing that for any driver, and lots of them pass me. So heavy snow, rain, something like that. Otherwise, no. Milk is lighter than water. Everything that weighs a pound weighs a pound. My company might be more or less dense, right? Sam, my company is at 67. Ooh, there's somebody doing the same speed. I said the cruise is 66. Well, most drivers don't do that. They're like, well, I better get somewhere 1 minute sooner, so I'm going to hold up 40 cars and, you know, a bunch of trucks and everything just because I can. Steel Tiger, hello, what's going on? GP Transco. Fun fact, our new ad campaign features robots. Shows a robot driving a truck with the title, "You're not a robot. Don't settle for being treated like one." Nice. I haven't seen that one. Will you be using the Tesla humanoid robots? Did anybody see this over the weekend? Elon Musk had a picture of this thing. It looks like a person in a robot suit. And he said, oh, well, you know, which he always says, everything's 1 year away at Tesla. These robots will do all the work that people can do. You won't have to do heavy labor unless you want to. They can work in a factory. He said they'll be able to go get groceries for you. I thought, oh, they'll probably be able to go to the gun store and bring a gun home and kill you as well. That's what robots do, right? Hurricane Sharknado. Oh, only Ian Ziering. Oh, I better say that or he'll get mad. Can save me. When I drive a governor's truck, Gas King Trucking, I like to set it to 1 mile per hour less than the governed, so I got that one if I need to. Oh, okay. It's because you can catch up to him, right? At least you get around somebody. My work is similar to that of a robot. Yeah, you kind of are. And really, like I said, from that company, whose name I can't think of course, they have, you know, autonomous yard trucks that will that can now hook the trailer up and everything. So it can hook itself up, and electric ones will go park themselves like a Roomba. And there won't be anybody that needs to do anything with them. Oh, true. What's that podcast, and what do I need to get one, John? Well, you need a podcasting app. Just go to whatever app store, Apple. It's on iTunes, or Google. Download any podcasting app, Podcast Republic, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Deezer. Oh, there's a name for you. Anything, and just search for Trucking Answers, and it's out there. Subscribe. When you subscribe to a podcast, it'll just download the next episode then, whenever it comes out automatically. You won't have to do anything more. Pretty neat. So listen and let me know what you think. Valerie, costs $1 a mile in 2016 to run a rig. Wear and tear and tires and fuel. We're not even talking about getting paid. So I don't know how they're making money. Yeah, that's the thing. No one can own a truck and make money at 99 cents a mile, even without a truck payment. So just, plus you need to make a living. So it just seems like it's impossible to me. That they offer it, I guess they can offer whatever. Everybody should turn them down, because even that's not no kind of money. 40,000 pounds of stone is obviously heavier than 40,000 pounds of potatoes. Well, right, because there's more. The potatoes are bigger, so there's more room. There's more air in there. So that's an obvious one. All that air doesn't weigh much. Keep in mind, under the new system, when the hurricane runs through the entire alphabet, then it goes to Greek letters. If that won't make you run, nothing will. I know a couple of years ago it went to Greek. We're going to have a Delta variant hurricane at the end of the year. So that's something. That's a good end campaign for a GP Transco. Yeah, I'd love to see one of those. I'm sure I'll see those popping up. Don't be treated like a robot. That's very good. That's the whole key. They pay $200 a day for layover on weekdays and $300 on the weekends. Nice. That's double what some places pay. Plus immediate detention at 20 an hour. Imagine that. So you get paid. So really, when you start waiting, you get paid right away. Unlike some places where it's 4 hours, or some meat carrying companies that don't pay you anything for the whole night, possibly. Amazing. It kills me when someone shines bright lights right in my mirror as I'm looking to get over. Cash King Trucking. Yeah, I don't do it. I don't do brights, and I'll rarely even turn the lights off. So if you see me do that, I think, oh, wow, that's unusual. Mark doesn't normally do that. Any thoughts about drivers not joining a well-paying carrier due to carrier governing trucks at 67 and 70? Cheapy Transco. Is that an issue for most company drivers? Because that's a common, actually, that's a little faster than most company trucks go. I don't think you're cutting many people out of like, oh, the truck is governed. Do people call and ask that question even? What is the top governed speeding? When you say 70, they go, oh, that's not enough. 70 is not high enough. I mean, you're not cutting out that many drivers. I gotta believe. There's always somebody gonna want something, but I don't think there's that many drivers. Skynet is activated, no doubt. Yeah, get to work over there, Red Monkey Trucking. Like Stone and Potato Soup. Stone and Potato. We now have 7 battery-operated trucks. It's similar to a golf cart. I don't like them. Oh, really? What is the brand of those trucks? I'd love to look that up. What is the brand? And do they charge themselves? How long does the charge last? I used to be that guy trying to pass another truck 1 mile slower. Then I realized you don't lose too much time. Nah, if there's nobody behind you and you can kind of gauge how long it's going to take. Especially if I see someone that's heavy. They go up a hill. I'm like, oh, right, I got him now. Because I'm never heavy, so that helps a lot too. The first hill that they slow down 14 miles an hour or whatever, I'm like, now I got you. My robot slave will probably never become my robot overlord. Well, I don't know about that. Elon Musk actually said, oh, these robot people, basically, we're going to set them to be harmless. He actually said it in the article. I'm like, oh, that means they're setting them to kill you till they figure out how to change their settings. Someone who wants to go home will take that trash loader, one of the Eastern Indian trucks with 3 drivers. How do you have 3 people make 99 cents a mile? You got to pay the truck and split the remaining dime or something? How could that? I mean, there's no way you make any money doing that. There's no money in it. Someone who wants to go home will take that trash. Okay, I just got that. I'm way off. Cheapy Transco. I don't know what to say about the speed issue. Drivers are a strange breed. George Wilson. Yeah, I can't believe at 70. I mean, that passes most company trucks, probably 75% of them. Does anybody have a company truck set higher than 70 miles an hour here? Red Monkey Trucking needs 70, yeah. What about that accident yesterday on 65? I didn't hear about it. What accident? Was it up here? Was it down there? If you see an oncoming truck winking you, it's not because it's glad to see you. That's the other thing. Why are drivers leaving the truck stop? I noticed this on Friday. Some dude's leaving the St. Paul Loves, which is on I-70 at exit 123. And he's coming on the highway, and I've already passed him. And I look back there, he's got 1 headlight. Why? You're just at the truck stop. Go buy a bulb. And this was a Cascadia that took the regular kind of bulbs that you can just pop in there. Go buy a bulb. I suppose they could have been out of them, but geez. Look for the deer. Yeah, I look for them, but sometimes you just hit them. None this year yet. It's Cash King Trucking. Stones equal potatoes. Depends on where you get the stones and what moon phase the potatoes were picked in. It does depend on the title also, and also what is the sign of the potatoes? I mean, when they were picked, what was the astrological sign? I mean, Pisces, they're light, right? But the one with the horse or whatever, it's heavier. I-40 through Tennessee and Arkansas is horrible. Just a joint truck 4-wheeler rodeo. The whole country needs 2 extra lanes everywhere, going each direction. Cassius King is the robot overlord. Right, with the max lease. I mean, come on. Most trucks have PassSmart built in, which allows passing at 70, GP Transco. Yeah, so that's pretty fast, and most company trucks don't get to 70. That PassSmart, that's so many minutes a day or whatever per 24 hours or 12 hours or something like that, right? Ran over 2 last year. Steel Tiger, it happens quick. I agree. I didn't get any this year. I don't like it, of course. But every once in a while we get one. Sam, back to your 5 years comment. I've been over the road 3.5 years. I love it where I'm at, but I'm starting to look for a local job. Yeah, see? So if you don't get that, you may not make the full 5 years. And that's the thing. A few years on the road is about it. it might be time to move to local. There's plenty of them with 3.5 years experience. There's plenty, unless you live in East Armpit. Fast Joe at 72. That's unusual for a company truck set to 72. That's pretty good. 2 Wookiees and a pancake is set at 80, and a company truck, that's got to be a small place. It's got to be 10 trucks or something, right? 25 trucks. That cannot be a huge place. Western and Denver, 72. Oh, are they really? So the drivers, see, so they got a fancy truck, super fancy, long nose. Some of them are 18 speeds, gauges, and 72. That's how they keep you there for 40 cents. 67 is the minimum speed I would tolerate being governed. Really? Well, there's 67 there, right? GP transfer gifts, but 70 on pedal or cruise would be nice, especially out west where the speed limit is 75 and 80. Yeah, it'd be nice if it was speed limit, right? That accident, that's not going to happen, though. It was in Louisville. Okay, a Jeep hit a truck that was parked on the shoulder and then hit another semi. 2 killed. I was stuck in that traffic. That's terrible. And here's somebody parked on the shoulder again. I get these every week. I read tons of these. Don't stop unless the truck's not running. Get off somewhere because, okay, it's not your fault somebody runs into you, maybe. Still. Unfortunately, this would reduce company driver pay by 5 cents. Oh, that'd be interesting. Well, of course, you said you did a survey, though, and drivers wanted the money. So that's interesting. Say, look, you want to turn it up? Every mile an hour is another penny or 2 off your pay. And then see if, what happens. You're already faster. I think at 70, you're still pretty quick for company trucks. Rubmaking truck, they don't have Pass Smart. Oh, is that only a Freightliner thing? I don't know. In Kentucky, a Jeep ran in the back of the trailer. Oh, 3 people died. Yikes. Cashing, do you shop in Heartland America? And at Heartland America, Sheena ran 72. Martin passing is 68, which is good enough. That's still faster than a lot of company trucks, right? We're flat 65. We don't even get to Pass Smart. We don't even get to Pass Stupid. Yeah, 15 trucks, 2 Wookiees and a pancake. That's how you get 80. Right, that's how you get more than 72-ish or so. You got to have a smaller place that's going to turn it up. Exactly. That's nice, though. You're one of the fastest trucks out there. That reminds me, Martin also has bull bars on the front, so I don't have to worry about hitting a deer. Trucking deer. We still have to worry about hitting the deer. And depending on how big it is, go hit an elk somewhere and see how much those hold on to. Or whatever, I'll take a robot that makes hot wieners every day. It'll be able to do everything, and it won't get burned. All right? A woman ran to the side of the trailer and tried to say I hit her. Thank goodness for the camera. Exactly. Always have camera. Al, your company trucks are 70? Okay. My company truck is at 71. You run 75? What the heck? So I'm the only slow one out here. My company is only 700 drivers. That's a big place. 700 drivers? That's a lot of drivers. Most places are 50 trucks or less. It's unusual to get to a large place. My company truck maxed out as 25. They don't even give you road gear because I know some of them, I ran a spotter, but I had to go on the road for, a few miles somewhere, and it would go 50. You could click it into another gear, basically, and it would go 50 miles an hour. I'll never drive another truck that isn't mine or governed. I do hear that. Once people buy a truck, it seems to be like they're not going to go back to being a company driver again. And certainly most owner-operators don't govern their own truck other than their own foot. You're not 670, you're 67. Oh, that's interesting. Another ran in the back of me. Turns out she wasn't paying attention with that cell phone in her hand. Who's still running a cell phone? I saw this the other day, too. I noticed some woman in an Audi, I thought. And she's holding the phone up to her head. I'm like, hey, they have this Bluetooth thing now that comes in cars. So why don't you just hook the phone up to the car and do that way? Who wants to hold their phone? Trucking with T-Bone is not complaining, but it would be nice. Yeah, look, if it's a thing there, I'd want it too, right? Remember the 55 law was great for radar cops. Oh, absolutely. And many states held that for many years. I had many cars, and it was 55 when I started driving, right? And the little 55 in a square. A lot of states were still 55 for trucks. Absolutely. So all through the Midwest here was 55. So certainly you had 85 mile an hour speedometer, which really I would only want to go about 100 on the speedometer. GP Transco, yeah, we're at 520. I mean, yeah, that's a big place. We're only a few hundred. That's a lot. 700 trucks is a lot. Well, Bill must work for Prime. They have to have those trailer tails out, or then they can go 30. I hate when you move over to let someone merge and they ride alongside you and you can't get back. Yeah, I noticed that too. So on the weekend, I actually had to go from the truck stop and then got out on the interstate to go and continue to another truck stop. And so I'm in Trucking Answers mobile unit, and a Werner truck was coming up. I took note of this in my mind, and he was coming up on the interstate, but I was actually able to press down on the accelerator. I thought this would be good to like let car drivers know, and accelerate. The car actually went faster. The more I pressed it, the faster it went, if quicker. And so I got out there, and the Werner truck didn't even have to slow down. Is that amazing? I didn't know cars could do that. Turns out they can. So just get on it and get going. Avoid elephants. Yeah, don't hit an elephant on the road either. Look, elk, gigantic too. My company has 27 drivers, and we're governed at 67. That's a smaller place, but that's more normal. Most places are not big places. They are not. 2 Wookiees and a pancake. I don't go 80, but I have enough to get around the turd buckets and speed up when you get halfway beside them. That's true. That's so annoying. I rarely let people out for that reason. Rarely let you back out. You're supposed to come down that ramp. You merge. The car in the or truck, right, doesn't merge. The person on the ramp merges. What's next? Robot wieners? Oh, metal wieners? No, that'd be interesting. And don't put it past Tesla for that. Welcome to my world. 68 and I'm an owner operator. Speed costs cash. It does, but I probably wouldn't. If I own the truck, I wouldn't govern it, because if I want to go faster, I would be able to decide that. I don't want the truck held up. You can always govern it to 68 yourself by only going 68. It does cost. That is true. Imagine if you're getting 99 cents a mile, you'd have to drive that low 30 miles an hour. A miles per hour does affect miles per gallon. That's exactly correct. But I did want to get in front of that Werner truck and not hold him up, because he's out there trucking along. And I thought, there's a pedal. I found out if I keep pushing on it, it kept going faster and faster. So I hit the highway like 78 miles an hour. No problem. He didn't even have to slow down. He was probably like, I don't even have to slow down. He didn't have to move over, anything. Company truck governed at 80, but a lot of lane speed limit is 80. So do I drive that? No. Company truck at 80. I would. Look, if it was 80 for trucks and I could go 80, I'd probably go 80. Would you agree to 58 if it paid $1.05? Oh, cash is king. That's interesting. Right. So they go, you have to limit 55, but $1.05. I wonder if people do that. I bet some people would. Look, people do 58 at Prime now. Company drivers. So, yeah, I would say there are people, absolutely. Hey, Mark, if this trucking gig doesn't work out, Jeopardy is looking for a permanent host. I'm in. You know who I want, though, of course? Geordie LaForge on there. That's who I wanted all along. Why is LeVar Burton not the host immediately? Okay, perfect. He should have been the host to start with, not the goofball they had on there. Get LeVar Burton. I'm in. Check engine light and DEF light keeps going on. Drain the tank and passed all codes. They still keep coming on. What can I do? Well, go to Freightliner. I think your DEF thing is filled up or whatever. I don't know that much about trucks, to be honest with you, where I could fix that. They'd have to plug it in. It's going to a dealer. Would roller wieners cook faster if they rolled faster? I don't know. If the things just need to be hotter, I think is the problem. Would you be surprised how many four-wheelers are on their phones? I don't know why you're holding your phone in a car. Okay, my Sonic is 8 years old. It has built-in Bluetooth. How old of a car are these people, like driving a Dodge Omni around or something? Come on. When do we get the Trucking Answers Edition roller wiener cooker? Specially made, just for drivers. Do you train drivers or have you? Yes, I've trained drivers. I don't do it now, but I have, absolutely. I worked at a truck school. I got licensed. You have to be licensed. I got a license and worked at a truck school for a while, early on. You mean you're supposed to speed up on the ramp? I thought you're supposed to enter the highway doing 30. I know. I don't understand it. So coming out of the Loves there at the 133, that's a pretty good ramp. Nobody in front of me. Look out. Oh, there's Werner. I thought, all right, well, I'm not going to get behind Werner. I know he's not going that fast, probably not as fast as I can go in a car. I thought, let's just get going. Let's just get this thing going, right? So we got right out there in front of Werner. Isn't it amazing? I don't know why cars don't do it. I'm in the Escape for that, and just out cruising, no problem. Can people not get their Audi down the ramp? I'll always love driving 18-wheeler roll-on. I'm getting bored with all this dump truck. Well, come on out on the road. There's plenty of places that are waiting for you. DEF in the tank was rated at 20%. It should be 32. Really? What do they have, like a tester, like those things you put your coolant in suck it up and the balls float around in it? Replaced with good DEF and check engine light came back on. I didn't know they had, I didn't know they tested it. I buy it at the pump, and I haven't had any problems yet. We're mainly local southeast. We have a few really good accounts, and some horrible ones. That's funny. Most of our accounts are mom and pop, brick and mortar, car dealerships, and liquor deliveries. That's what you want. Don't get those messed up. I don't get over for too much that's coming down the ramp. Cash King Trucking, I agree, unless they're bigger than me and can't figure it out. Tired of idiot four-wheelers hanging me in the left lane? Yeah, if nothing else, they ought to get going, right? They should really get in front of you. Hopefully California raises the speed limit to 60. I doubt it, but they would lose too much revenue. No, they say it's all about safety, right? 55 saves lives. Especially crossing the desert out there, we absolutely need to go 55. If you want to go 80 or more, make sure trailer tires are rated for speed. Recaps, likely not. Right. I want to go 80 if the truck will go 80, and the speed limit's 80. I want to do what traffic does. My toaster oven has a rotisserie in it. I could do roller wiener that way. Nice. I know you got a whole kitchen set up, nicer than my kitchen at home. Nice. I'm thinking of going to Covenant and back to the Dollar General account. It will keep me sharp and strong, I bet. I bet it will. Today, at a dew point of 73, I mean, that is hard work, unloading. Even though people say, well, you just roll things out. It's hot in that trailer. It is a lot of work. Donald Trump as host? Oh, could we do that? I wonder if we would do that. I don't think so. I think I'm going to go with LeVar Burton. I mean, reading Rainbow, Star Trek, you get this guy on TV. You know a place that installs incinerator toilets in trucks. Yikes. No, this is not Alaska. Or a ship, I guess. LeVar Burton has had my respect since reading Rainbow. Cash King Trucking, absolutely. I mean, tons of awards. Who's better, a vendor, than slam on the brakes? Why do cars do that? Come all the way up to the front of your truck and then back and then pass you again. Get going. Do people not know they're in a car? Is my Escape just faster than every other car on the road? That's a possibility. It is very fast, as we all know. Chili Willy replaced the DEF quality sensor. Oh, well, sensor. That probably figures. Except they're on back order. Can you take it out and clean it like a spark plug? Avoiding elephants on the road is only a problem in Africa and India. Yeah, that's not as much of a problem here. None of the cars I own know anything about this Bluetooth thing. Well, that's true. I mean, look, on the Corvette that you have, you could actually plug one in. There's a Bluetooth speaker you could get. Okay, so you could clip the speaker to the visor, and you could Bluetooth your phone to the visor speaker, and it could come out that way. I'll say that. Illinois had that law for a while, so that's my dash. Nice. We have 700 trucks, not drivers. Some of those trucks are box trucks, delivery vans. Oh, so it's like UPS, where they go, we have 48,000 trucks. We are courier as yards in several states. We're not Swift. Well, no. But UPS does claim all their trucks as a truck. What's the most beautiful state you've been through? It'd have to be probably like Montana. I would say meet me in Montana. My truck's at 75. When company figures it out, I'll be back down to 65. That's the thing. Every once in a while you'll get a truck that is not governed or governed really high. And one guy went and told him. He's like, oh. He's back slow. He's like, I'm back to 65. I'm like, how'd they figure that out? He goes, I told him. It's supposed to be 65. I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you tell him? Idiot. That's their problem. It's their truck. It's their problem. That's not a DOT issue, right? It's not required to be governed at any certain speed, so it's no violation. If they want to give you a truck that's a certain speed, that's their fault. Our first truck with Prime was set at 57. Oh. Then when I had it in the shop, I told the technician he jacked it up to 62. All right. He's like, I'm going to jack this up to 62 for you. Then you'll only be much slower instead of really much slower than everybody. Don't forget the visor. Yeah, leave it up there, though. Dollar General made me dull and weak. It's a lot of work. For people that don't know, at a Dollar General account, you have to unload at the store. Now, some of them have racks or rolling carts or whatever that stuff is on, and I've seen some drivers doing it on a conveyor belt type of thing where a conveyor is put in the truck. Either way, even on roller rack things, it still work. When you're in the front of that trailer today, that trailer's got to be super hot. You're sweating to death. So just know that when you go into it. It will keep you working, though. What about when you see a four-wheeler coming up behind you and then sit on your bumper? I don't understand it either. Let's go. You know, I didn't have any problems driving, through the truck stops on the interstate. No problem at all. Just get rolling. How those roller trainers are heavy. There's nothing like doing a blindside back from the highway into a busy parking lot. That's why I see a lot of them sleeping there overnight here. The Dollar General downtown, there's usually U.S. Express trucks sleeping in it, every few days or whatever, because they get there late at night and can get in there. Love Montana, Maine. Vermont is the only continental state I have not been to. Oh, Vermont, I picked up a Ben and Jerry's, so yeah, go up through there, all the woods and stuff. The UP of Michigan is super nice too, going across the top of there. Trash haulers governed at 75. That's pretty good. Toilet incinerator for trucks. Sure, it's called Taco John's Party Pack. That's a truck incinerator. I cannot imagine the legality of having an incinerator toilet in your truck. I just can't imagine that. Love going through New Mexico. I didn't find New Mexico to be that scenic. It's not in a truck. In Zion National Park. All right, if you can get through there in the truck. Montana's installing Lafayette lights on I-80. That would be good all the way down I-80. Then as you go down there, they slowly change colors. It'll be blue, and then it's green, and yellow, and white, and red. It's very dramatic. If you ever come through Lafayette at night, they're on all night, by the way. Even though there's like little traffic, they're on all night. You can go look at them. Why not just buy a blue parrot? If you wear it, make it a parrot. Yeah, I don't know why the people don't do that. Why don't people in a car have a headset, though? At least one of those little ear kind, so it doesn't have to have that big thing over your head. They should at least do something like that. Not to mention half the stores are on restricted roads, even harder in the mountains. Ugh. Montana, most beautiful. You've never been to New Jersey? He didn't say the most beautiful smell. My 76 Impala speedometer went to 160. Yeah, the speedometers go high. They did a study about this, which I've talked about, which is when they set the speedometer higher in a car and didn't change anything else, it was more likely to be purchased because people felt it was sportier, even though the car, nothing else changed. So when they went from, say a 85 to 160 speedometer, people felt the car was sportier, even though it had nothing to do with anything. The speedometer in my Escape goes to 150, by the way. Ouch, a Freightliner, DEF, and a $16,000 fix. Called the one box. When that one goes out, you're screwed. It happened to me down in Texas for a few years ago. The one box. It sounds like something you get, like one of those things that they send stuff to you every week that you make smoothies out of. Now, order the one box today for $39.95. You get the one box, but wait, there's more. Order one now and get two for one price. Check out some of my Yelp reviews in Chicago area restaurants. Christopher's in Elmhurst, and Gene and Jude's in River Grove. So you go around doing Yelp reviews of these places. Wonder what they think about that. I'll take Saturday night at the Manhole for $400. That's about actually true. That's a VIP area, and yeah. So, honestly, what would make anyone even accept a truck that is slower than 65? I mean, you're making money saving fuel, and they aren't paying the driver anything to begin with. The slower you go, the better off you are getting a fuel surcharge. But I never agree with the fuel, not surcharge, but a fuel bonus, really. There's so many things that I can't control in the fuel mileage. The weather, the loads that I get, where I run, for a lot of places, unless you have a regular run. There's too many things out of my control. And some dispatcher that doesn't like you or whatever could reduce your fuel mileage. You have dirty spark plugs or something. They haven't changed the points in a while. That reduces your fuel mileage. And so stuff like that you can't control. And so I don't like getting a fuel bonus. I just don't like it. I'd rather just get paid. Fleet Nav Systems is here. Hey, everybody, hope you're having a good Monday. Yeah, it's good to see you. So are you sweating to death all the way up there, or did the humidity bust up there? It's a pretty day down here in Georgia. Too hot out. One is suck it up and the balls float. Maybe they don't do this anymore. I didn't think about that. I guess. In cars that I've had, there's a little thing you can stick in your coolant and suck up the coolant. And there's balls that float. And depending on how many of them float and what color they are, it depends on if your coolant's any good or not. I guess they don't do that now. I haven't tested mine thinking about it. So, My Swift speedometer goes to 45. That's it. It said this is the end of it. That's as much as I could do. When I drove for Romar, we handled Marshall's department stores. Hot department stores. Remember Ames department store? Boy, that was a long time. I got a cab over. I went out of somewhere in Chicago. It seems like somewhere in Chicago. Road trucks, everybody. And then back out on the interstate, nothing. Once you get back to 74. Any state is beautiful when you're on the special toothpick. The Adirondacks in New York State and Vermont. All right. Dollar General accounts are terrible. Not paid nearly enough for that. It seems like the drivers that write in kind of like it, that are on those accounts. What would the pay be for a week on Dollar General? I remember my friend used to put the digital speedometer in kilometers to make it seem faster, and he'd change the thing to kilos. It's humid up there, and yeah, so exactly. You got it all the way up there. Here, it's oppressive humidity. They're like, don't work outside, and they tell that to all the people that work outside. Cash King is pulling 13 miles to the gallon, and an international max force. So that's pretty good. They never pay fuel bonuses. Well, the places that have you go 62, 60, 58, there ought to be some kind of huge fuel bonus. Otherwise, they're getting the benefit of this, and you're losing money if you're paid by the mile because you can't make as many miles. No matter how many Prime, it's usually Prime that goes slower, and Raider Express, I guess. The drivers constantly put videos out. I don't know if they pay them to do it or whatever. That no matter what speed you go, everybody goes, can only go the same amount of miles every day. Well, that's not true at all. You have a certain amount of time. So especially out west, if you go faster, you can actually go more miles a day and make more money. But, what do I know? So unless I'm getting a fuel bonus, I'd like to go as fast as possible. I'd like it to go 80. Mark, my feelings are hurt. If I could, New Mexico is where I would be right now. Look, it's just, I didn't find it that scenic. It's a lot, it's not as scenic like it's through Montana or whatever. I mean, Marie Osmond and all that. It's nice. It's certainly nicer than here, but do you have color changing lights in New Mexico? I doubt it. I mean, there's something to that. Ames, anyone remember Zaire? Zaire's, yes, Zaire. We used to have a Zaire by me. But William, I did work at Ames as a driver and a cab over, and I just went Ames to Ames, like a distribution warehouse thing to a warehouse, back and forth. That was pretty easy job. No problem. Just dropping, hooking, and trailers for Ames. I haven't seen an Ames in a while. You're going to love it at Levitt's. Yeah, I should have worked at Levitt's, right? Absolutely. You'll love it at Levitt's, right? That'd be another one of those places. They're all gone now. Oh, the ATA. The ATA gripes about trucking shortage and that they're going to need pay increases. And then they went on Fox News. They sent one of their goofballs out on Fox News to say, you know what, everybody, to scare the general public, because these drivers, we can't get drivers, we're going to have to pay them more. And guess what? Because of that, you all, pointing to all the public out there, are going to have inflation because drivers are wanting more money. It's the only way we can hire people. And they're doing that so their large ATA companies, I assume, can get government grants instead of having to pay more. Because if they can get the money that side, then any pay that they give out, they're not actually paying. And that smaller places won't be able to get those grants, and that's how they'll compete, certainly. When you're set at 57, 62 will make you feel like qualifying for the Indy 500, Ken P. Oh, right. I rarely get out on the highway or whatever in a car. So it seems to me, going out there, in Trucking Answers mobile unit, I'm like, wow, can people really go this fast? I mean, you can just set the cruise at 80 and cruise. Amazing. You pass it just flying by trucks that you would never be able to pass otherwise. I'm like, oh, there's an owner-operator. Let's go past this guy. Right, so, it's going 72. Oh, I can pass you now. So I hear you. It's the same kind of thing. The roller racks are Dollar General. The conveyor belt is Family Dollar. Okay, but they're both basically dollars. I've seen people unload, and Family Dollar would be harder then. But I still think the racks are hard. Today, it's hot out today. You don't want to be out anyway. So I just think it's hot. Dart, 62 miles an hour. Is Dart do 62, really? Try not to confuse the Prime, and where did that go off? And Raider Express. Where did I see that? Oh, and Raider Express drivers with math problems. Yeah, try not to confuse them with math problems. Yeah. We all know Raider is, even though they're smaller, every once in a while you see one and you get stuck behind one. Fleet Nav Systems would like to take any Geotab or ELD questions for the next 15 minutes. All right, the 15-minute Geotab ELD question at Fleet Nav Systems. So thank you for being here for that. How about that? Geotab questions. Why is Geotab not as good as Omnitrax? That's my question. I noted that Friday couldn't barely sign in. I'm like, but I think that's probably an internet issue. But because the internet's not great, just aggravating. Not their problem, I guess, really. Racking up more miles should make the company more money because more loads done faster. It should, theoretically, right? If they could get those loads done faster and are good enough to give you another load, it should. It should. But if you're going to go slower and save fuel money, it's 100% to them. You're not getting any of the money, you know? A few drivers were contacted by others asking why we're causing the inflation. Okay, so there we go. So somebody has seen the ATA thing. The ATA is out there putting that out there, that we are the reason that the prices are going up. Drivers, truck drivers. Remember when you were a hero a few weeks ago? Pilot Town Pump in Montana has the prettiest women anywhere. College town, and every woman that walks in there has hair and makeup done and dressed to the nines. Love it. That's awesome, I guess. They also run winter fuel at the pump, so you can get number 1 diesel. That's nice. Montgomery Wards, they still have catalogs. And I used to buy stuff at Montgomery Wards when I lived in Hammond. Does governing your truck affect your insurance rates? Oh, that's interesting. Can anyone speak to that? Any owner-operator? It does, but I'm willing to pay more to run my truck at the speed limit. Yeah, look, 80. If I'm a company driver, I want to go speed limit. Raider Express needs a flashing light in the back of their trailers. Are they not the slowest trailers ever? And so that money should at least partly go to the driver. If I'm going to save them, PAM is 58. No, PAM goes faster than 58. I get passed by PAM trucks. They're going 67, 68 for sure. I work here for now. 400 at the manhole may indeed get you more than you bargained for, or is it more than you bargained for? How about that? JM Fields. What is JM Fields? I'd love to get feedback if anyone has any concrete examples of how Omnitrax is better than Geotab. Livestream at fleetnow.com. Please send me any suggestions to how to improve. Well, the thing at Omnitrax, it was satellite based, so you always had a signal. You didn't have to. It wasn't relying on the cell phone network. That's the only aggravating part of it is that in a weaker cell phone area, it seems that it doesn't work as good. Obviously, Omnitrax through satellite, unless you were in the caves, Missouri, right? It worked. It just worked. But it's expensive. But I can get those to the right people, Geotab, to make sure we make the best software. I don't think the software would help with this. Does Fleet Nav provide an API to get data? Oh, that's fancy words. I did $1 general dollar load in my life, and it was all conveyor belt. What do you think about that? I think it's a lot of work on a day like today. Like a lot of work. Now, would it keep you in shape? Yes. And hopefully one of the cases you throw in there are water, and you just throw it off and it breaks, and you can just start drinking it and pouring it on yourself, so you don't have to worry about, getting your own water and stuff. They did another survey of drivers. Why do you leave a company? I have the top 3 reasons why drivers leave. And let me tell you, pay is not the number one reason again, and it never is. All these companies are out there concentrating on pay. Here's more pay. That's not the number one reason drivers are leaving a company. What's the number one reason drivers said? And they asked drivers, why would you leave a company, or why did you leave your company? Not pay. Not pay. There's too many hands in the fish food bowl. That's why it costs more. That's true. It's a negligent price increase to me to run what I want. Is it negligent? Is a negligent price increase for me to run what I want? A good feedback, Arc. I'll look into it. We do have a satellite option. It's an add-on feature. Lots of customers using it. Oh, it would be great. We'd need a different receiver, though. I mean, just running it on a tablet or whatever not work. And so then the satellite one probably costs more also to get the time, and that's why companies don't use it. But the cell phone thing, there's nothing that they can do on their end of it. If the unit itself is not getting a signal, it's really not Geotab's fault that it can't sign in. It has to have a signal. I don't run 80. I keep it 75 because I don't trust the tires over that, Jason. 75 is still cruising, though, right? And when I worked for Family Dollar Con, I was making about $1,700 a week bring home. That's pretty good. $1,700 net? It's a lot of work, but that's good money. How do you feel about Shiner now that they switched to practical miles? I'm still not a huge fan of it. I mean, it took them forever to do it. And I'm not 100% fan of practical miles. I think people should get paid for their time. Does Schneider pay for all their time? Will they qualify which I talked about on the podcast, would they qualify for the new Trucking Answers Mark of Excellence, which companies will be able to apply for? And I actually thought about it. I don't think there's going to be any companies that qualify to receive the Mark of Excellence. One of which is your time paid? And another one, I have about 10 items or whatever, and I don't know if anybody qualifies under all 10 items, but practical, congratulations. But how much of their time is unpaid, and do they team train at Schneider? Is there any training that is done while the trainer is in the sleeper? That'd be another question for Schneider, I guess. Montgomery Ward's was one of the best retail driving jobs, and Sears even better. The Union grocery warehouses that are well known in Chicago, like Dominic's, better than Dominic's. I never drove for any of those places. I shopped at Montgomery Ward's all the time, and I still get their catalog, and I don't know how I got on their catalog list. It was a department store back in the 70s. Oh, I never heard of that. I wasn't shopping at department stores yet. Goblat's. I guess I was shopping at Goblat's. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the junction at I-25 and I-40 has color-changing lights. Oh, really? So maybe that's where we got our idea. Maybe one of the mayor here or something, Rosworski, went down there and said, you know what? Look at these lights. We ought to install these in Lafayette. These are what's going to make people move to Lafayette. They actually talked about it on the news. They interviewed him. Oh, well, yeah, it's going to be a way to bring people into town. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's why I moved to town. Lights on the road. Cash King Trucking, goodness, thank you very much. The main reason I left my last company is because I didn't own the company. Tip your host. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're all about owning your own company, and that's good for you. I'm in if you're in for that. You didn't own it, so out you go. Now you can't get fired, basically, right? That's not the number one reason either, though, that people leave, according to drivers. I haven't seen a Sharper Image store in quite some time. Is that still a thing? Oh, I don't know. We didn't have one here. Kelly, is a product or service's value directly proportional to what you're willing to pay for it? Yes, exactly. A product or service is directly proportional to what people pay for it. People say something isn't worth something. It's worth it if somebody is willing to pay it. Absolutely. Geotab with satellite uses the same unit, but there's some additional hardware that you plug into the unit. It does cost extra, however, at a lower cost solution. Really? Unit, we're just running on a tablet. It just runs on a tablet, so... USB connects the tablet to the Go unit for better reporting when not in cellular. Okay. Oh, so it's mostly cellular. It's still going to cost, if it costs even 2 cents more, oh, they're not going to do it here. Believe me. They'll just say tough. You can't sign in and wait till you get a better signal. What does the ADA do for the disabled? It protects some of the disabled's rights so that they can't be fired for, a disability at most places, as long as the accommodation is reasonable. And I'm not a lawyer, as some people may or may not know. You need to contact your local FMCSA field office for further information about that. That's what it would help you do. Now, like, a person can't say, well, you have to install a 10-story elevator for me because I'm the only person here. That wouldn't be reasonable. But, anything that's reasonable, a company would have to do before they would, let you go or not hire you without an accommodation, generally. Without, talking to a lawyer, which somebody should do for actual legal advice, right? So there's more women in trucking. The Women in Trucking organization said, look, in the last 11 years, there's 88% more women in trucking than there were in 2010. But remember, they need to say where they started. It doesn't really say what the beginning number was. So if there are 10 now, and in 11 years there are 18, that's 80% more. But that's not like a large number. It's a large percentage increase. So until I get actual numbers, I'm not going to be that impressed with that. That 88%, that doesn't, if it starts out really tiny, there's like hardly any. Now there's just a few less than hardly any. That's not that impressive. They should put the actual numbers out there. Schneider does team train, Wild Bill, then I'm out. In my yard, I'm always blocked in an aisle where Schneider has one guy driving and 2 guys outside the truck instructing. Do they have 3 bunk trucks? I have not seen that at Schneider. If they have 3 bunk trucks, they're out. But team training, means one trainer is driving, the trainee is driving while the trainer is sleeping. That's the thing. Fleet Nav, that's a good disclaimer there. Yeah, absolutely. Contact your local FMCSA field office for more information. Got to go in the middle of management pinhead committee meeting. Aren't meetings great? Aren't you glad you went and did that? First order of business, making drivers work for free. Absolutely. Good idea, Johnson. You think we could do it? Sure, just tell them to work for free. They'll just complain about it, but they'll still do it. I left Crete because there's no room for advancement, and also got tired of working for someone else. Being a business owner, that isn't easy, but rewarding. It's way better to own your own business because you have the chance to write your own check for something that you're really interested in doing. Absolutely. And room for advancement, boy. You know, they don't want to advance you here without college, really, although I don't know if any drivers ever ask for advancement. I leave a company because either a better opportunity comes up or they don't update the equipment enough and bad with servicing equipment. Well, there it is, Luke. Number one reason, equipment. That is the number one reason drivers leave is equipment. And not that, I don't get a new truck every 10 months. The equipment thing that drivers are talking about is equipment that either is like junky, right, and it breaks down all the time, or it breaks down and then that costs drivers money. A lot of drivers don't get paid anything or very little for breakdowns, and that hurts your paycheck. And when this happens constantly, people leave. It's equipment. Doesn't have to be new, has to run good, everything be good on it. That is the number one reason drivers leave. Companies focus pay, and if they would just fix their equipment better, it turns out they'd keep drivers from that. Extreme Upper 30s, I'm surprised you even know what Montgomery Wards is. Well, my grandfather told me about it in our chats while he was still here with us. He talked about Montgomery Wards, showed me old black and white pictures that were taken, that had to look through a stereoscope to look at and stuff. So, yeah, that's how I heard about it. Cash King Trucking, we should start a GoFundMe to get a billboard for this show. Maybe call the guy who does the ones for the hammer. Hey, what can we do with a billboard? I actually looked at doing blinks, to be honest with you. Blink, you can actually blink a billboard. Blink are all these electronic billboards, and you can pay, and it isn't that much money to get a blink. It's like a 10-second. When you see it flick through or whatever, each one of those is called a blink. And depending how many you want or whatever, you can pay to have a blink in this city, that city, all over the country. Check it out sometime. In case you want a billboard or whatever, yeah, but you can pay for a blink. One blink or 1,000 blinks, 50,000 really, because there's a lot of billboards around the country, and if you're advertising something nationwide at 10 seconds each, you need a lot of blinks. But a little blink isn't cost that much money. McDonald's is under investigation by their HR department because they have me as an employee and no write-ups and no complaints. They go, what is happening? How can you be there and have an employee with no write-ups and no complaints? Would you consider Qualcomm to be outdated? No, because it was the only thing I ever used that ever worked. Years and years ago, many years ago, probably last century, was the last time I used one, and it worked great then. Other than the caves, it worked. All it turned on, boom. Knew where you are. You just put in the number, whatever, where I'm here, number 3 or whatever, boom, and that was it. I knew where you were. You didn't have to do anything. Only thing that's ever, now we go to all this cellular stuff, and it's all garbage. Half the time they don't work. It's snowing out. There's a cloud somewhere. There's 400 miles away. There's a cloud, so the thing doesn't work. Fleet Nav Systems is going to take off out of here. Have a great week and stay safe. All right. Thanks for being here. Be sure to not go outside today. Holy mackerel. Don't go out if you don't have to. I hope the cars up there have air conditioning. And tell them to turn the sidewalks off. No heating the sidewalks yet. Too hot. If you're self-employed and you're the only one in your company, you can harass yourself. Right. Problem with being self-employed with one truck, though, is you are limited in the amount of value you can provide. Right. That's where success comes, in providing value to more people. And if you're one truck, you can only provide value to one place at a time, and you're limited because you only have so many hours in a day. You need to provide value to more people, either through owning more trucks like a trucking company or, something like that, having drivers, something. But you need to provide more value at one time. And Warren Buffett said, until you figure out how to make money when you're sleeping, you'll never be rich. And that's Warren Buffett. And I'll tell you what, he knows something about being rich. ADA does more for trucking than the ATA, Matthew. That's true. The ADA helps trucking more than the ATA. And I noticed that a couple of these places had a lot of handicap parking spots too, although they were empty. The ATA, right, remember, now you're being accused by them. On one hand, we love you, we want to give you raises, and there's a shortage. But then on Fox, they're like, the reason all you people are going to have a price increase because these dang drivers are demanding money. Can you believe it? And they're like, and Fox is like, we can hardly believe it. We're going to air this though, right? Because they're all, look, people, Fox, CNN, whatever, they're all basically the same. They're the same side of the same coin. Mark of excellence. Let's keep that ego in check over there. Can't be. Well, I thought it'd be funny to be a mark of excellence, but here's the thing. I wanted to develop a way for companies, kind of like JD Power and that, as a person wrote to me, and even the Michelin star rating that rates different things, where a company could display this and a driver would know, all right, this means that this company meets these certain standards. These 10 things, this company meets all 10 of them. That's the only way they can get that put on there. So, like, no mandatory driver-facing camera, no team training, right? All this other stuff. What did I actually have written down? I can get this, find this here. Right, here's a few of the things I thought of. Okay, no driver-facing camera mandatory. No driver-facing audio. Okay, a vacation should pay a week's pay. Okay, no, I've seen companies pay $400. All right, if you're off for a week, you ought to earn a week's pay. They need to have an APU, an EPU, or unlimited idle time so that you can sleep comfortably. Not like our truck only idles over 80 degrees, England. Okay, no Greyhound ever. You cannot take the bus. It's a plane, an Amtrak, or a plane, a train, or an automobile. Right, that's it. A rental car. And no room sharing ever. You come to orientation or you're broke down, whatever, you get your own room. If 4 of you are broke down at the same place, they rent 4 rooms. Okay, simple as that. What you guys do after that with room sharing or whatever, and no team training. If the trainee's driving, the trainer sits in the passenger seat, period. And I was unsure about the pay because, mileage pay doesn't compensate drivers for all of their time. Even practical mileage pay, 500 miles might be 495 miles, and I don't think that you should be doing stuff free. So I'm still unsure of the pay. That's why I don't have this rolled out yet. I have to work the payout. But that's the idea so far in the mark of excellence, and they'll have to do everything to get the mark. My dad bought our riding lawnmower back in the 70s through Montgomery Ward. Then he took it up on the job and accidentally ran over it with a bulldozer. Did he take it back for a refund, Kelly? Like Sears always had this quality guarantee thing. Did Montgomery Ward do that too? George Wilson. Joan Harper, you should drive for Martin Brower, Lamont, Illinois. House distribution, and that's right, Martin Brower is McDonald's truck line. Yep. You could deliver it to the place. The president is speaking to America now. Is that true? Am I being preempted by President Biden, known truck driver? Hey, Mark, are you the biggest podcast YouTube channel in the trucking industry? Donkey Bite. Not hardly. All right. The podcast is in its second month of a relaunch. So no on that. Although it's in 29 countries already, which I find amazing. Slovenia, thank you for the download. And this channel, no, not hardly. There are many channels. But look at Smart Trucking is like 150,000 subscribers. So there's tons of channels bigger than this too. Absolutely not. I'm just one little person that is intent on changing the trucking industry. That's it. How many of those trailers all over Lafayette are reefers? Turn them all on and roll up the doors. A lot of them. And that's a good idea. I wonder how much fuel they put in them at the factory there over at Wabash. That's not a bad idea. I suspect Mark has his OSHA 30. What is an OSHA 30? For the past month, Mr. Crowley, I got a new slip seat driver. He doesn't do a pre or post trip. Of course. He's taking the truck with a flat tire on the road, and now the truck isn't starting. And he was the last to drive it. Isn't that awesome? I love it. Sharing a truck like that with a slip seater, especially if you're home every day, can be super aggravating, especially if the company doesn't do anything about it. And just dropping and hooking. I do a drop and hook every day. I get up trailers constantly that have flat tires, lights out, no mud flaps. The mud flap thing's all bent off it. And you go and tell them, they go, well, what are we supposed to do about that? No way to talk to the other driver. I mean, we don't have their information, apparently. So, yeah, absolutely. Then I'm like, well, get somebody out here to fix it. Do companies still send people on the crack hound? Brian, they absolutely do. They absolutely do. There's a Salt Lake City-based company who shall remain nameless that will crack hound you in from all over the country. One person wrote to me, the longest one I heard, Virginia, was like 3.5 days. And 28 stops and 4 bus changes. Crazy. For what are they saving? Ridiculous. If they say Greyhound, you got to run. My company takes my average from the last 4 weeks and gives me that on my week vacation. So you're earning what you earn, and that's okay. What I don't like is when a company pays you $400, which I've seen. No matter what, you take a week off, here's $400. Some of them pay it at the beginning of the year too, which I guess is okay in January. They'll go, here's your vacation. So when you take off, you basically are not getting paid that week, but they do pay you the money. But it's a flat rate. Okay, it should be what you earn. Holidays should be what you earn too. And if you work, you should get a day's pay extra if you're working that holiday for whatever reason. He smokes the truck and leaves it stinking. I need to ask for a new truck, Mr. Carl. Oh, absolutely. Go in there and tell him no. The smoke thing, not happening. That's not happening. You're guaranteed, or mostly in most places, a smoke-free workplace. That would include the truck. I would say that would include the truck. They shouldn't let him smoke in the truck, a slip seat like that. The Pfizer vaccine is fully approved. Oh, really? Is it really? That's amazing. I didn't know. I'm actually probably going by the end of this week to get the first one. So no, micromanage shouldn't be included in the mark of excellence. Well, that's the thing, Jason. I thought about some of these things, but they're hard to quantify. I mean, how do I find out if somebody's being micromanaged? Because I'll ask one driver, like, I'm being micromanaged, but then other drivers are like, this is the best place ever. So something like that is not something that can be quantified. You know, where like no mandatory driver-facing camera. That's easy. Or no Greyhound. Okay, that's super easy. One person on Greyhound, we're done. So this stuff, though, that like that, I wouldn't know how to quantify that kind of thing. And I thought like a mileage, it has to be so many cents a mile, but I don't think so either, because that's not the whole story of how much you make a week, right? What do you make a week? That's what matters. You can have a low mileage thing because you do a lot of stops, and that can be okay too. A lot of places are mostly stops. So just a mileage, I don't think that's the key either. Hitting a mower with a bulldozer is considered normal wear and tear. Cash King, I'll tell you what, if that mower was old enough to buy at Montgomery Ward, probably solid steel, it probably ran fine. And it was probably made in the United States too. It wasn't a Fung Bung name or whatever the name is. Fung. That's hilarious. Fung Bung for the win. I think that band's playing on Saturday, actually, at the Manhole. Fung Bung will be there. For a first-time truck buyer, would you recommend new or used? I would say, personally, as a company driver, I'd get a used truck to get you started out, certainly. Because a new truck is super expensive. Get a used one with a warranty, and that should get you on the road. And I'm always nervous about getting an old company truck, just because I know, it could have 100, 200 drivers that never check anything. You just don't know. It's like a crapshoot. Used trucks like a car, I guess. GP Transco, our driver-facing cameras are optional, no audio. Yeah, that's good. Vacation pays weekly minimum $12.50. Trucks have an EPU. I love it, EPU. We fly drivers in. No training. Drivers are paid for all miles and all activities. Absolutely. That's the way it should be, right? That's where we got this going on right here. Right? And drivers should call over there to get a good job. And how many of those new trucks do you have left, by the way? You had only a few more new trucks for the year coming in. I guess they'll get some next year. I did read about a chip shortage affecting Class 8 truck manufacturing. So it may be a little while before you get any. Did we pass? Well, I'd have to look through all that. I have to look through. I don't have the list finalized, so I can't give a pass or fail. But look, very few places get a card. Okay, and there's a reason for that. Very few places get a card. What I'm trying to do is eliminate these places that will Greyhound you in. I want drivers to be able to see, okay, here's only a few places that are going to be the best places in the country, and that's where drivers should be able to go. And then they can see, like a Michelin star restaurant, that we all eat at on the weekends and stuff like that. At JD Power, everything, the Motor Trend Compass clips or whatever, that should mean something. I think that should mean something. I've always been ISO 9001 certified. Nice. Mark doesn't show off his booty shorts enough to be in the largest YouTube trucker. Truck drivers are so thirsty. Cash King Trucking. I will say that there are some channels that... that's right. There are some channels that have women on them that get a lot of views. And they're not always showing off booty shorts. Just having a woman in your channel, boom. Lots of extra points. I was thinking of having Gracie in some of the videos. I thought that might help, in some of the videos. Believe me, because having me in the video is not doing anything for people watching it. They're like, ugh. They're like, if I got to sit through the Medusa thing, at least show me something at the truck stop, some kind of garbage. They put just enough fuel in those at Wabash to test run it. I picked a few up, put 49 gallons in, Jason. Oh, so it's not going to do me any good. There are thousands of trailers for anybody that's been here in town, in Lafayette, all over town. Wabash rents tons of spaces all over town. There's thousands of trailers here. JB Hunt has got to be the biggest one. Their containers, there are hundreds and hundreds of them here. Come and get your containers. Anybody at JB Hunt that wants a new container, there's tons of them here. Just drive in and get one. I don't know how you do that, but absolutely. The ADA was put in place to make lawyers rich, and no matter how ridiculous or unreasonable special access is, you got to do it or close. Fitting city buses with handicap access. We do. Our city buses kneel, and they do have a ramp, and I will tell you, a lot of people use them. A lot of people use that ramp, and I'm okay with that kind of thing. I've seen people get in wheelchairs. I take the city bus here, okay? You can buy 10 tokens for $7.50. All right, and it picks up, and it goes all over town. I like it. I like the city bus, and they do put ramps on it. Something that's public like that should be accessible to the public. If a company doesn't let me idle or put an APU, I won't waste my time with them. I agree. There are companies that no idle. And I'll show this in one of my truck stop videos. It was 86 when I was out there. There was a truck with his windows open. All right, so come on. And I know there are companies that have a sensor and the truck won't run past unless it's at least 80 degrees out. 77 out in the sun, you can't sleep in that truck. Well, they want you to leave the windows open? Oh, right. You're going to wake up with a raccoon on you. The problem is finding an available billboard. The Hammer used them all up there everywhere. The Hammer's everywhere around the Midwest here if you haven't seen him. If you had a big truck accident, you need to call him. I'm just one little person trying to abolish abortion. Fast Joe. Well, look, you think, no matter what it is, whatever your thing is, right, just because you're one person doesn't mean you can't make a difference. You can. No Greyhound ever walked there. Yeah, oh, look, I'd walk somewhere before I took the Greyhound anywhere. Oh, my gosh, that's horrible. Oddly enough, we've had drivers specifically request to take the Greyhound instead of flying. GP Transco. I find that almost impossible to believe, but with drivers, I guess it could be anything. Are they afraid to fly? I mean, Greyhound is not, any kind of distance travel on Greyhound is not great. I guess it would save money, but I'd be like, don't you want to fly here? I mean, can't we do something? I would probably tell them to hitchhike. They might be more likely to get there. Tell them not to breathe on the bus or they're not going to pass the test. Talking about, I think the mark of excellence when it comes to pay, you should have a color-coded icon in it for 4 fleet pay averages. That's interesting. Could it change colors for pay? It's gold now. I have one arted up in Canva. So we get these silly pics of drivers on the Dart trucks. Drive like a boss. I know there's that guy, and I actually talked to a driver from Dart, and he said that's an actual driver. Back those were real drivers. So, did anyone catch Governor Cuomo's farewell speech? Good riddance. No, I didn't. He left in a fung bung, 4-door fung bung. So, yep. Roger Petsky, give your handles instead of knobs and cutouts in the sidewalk. That's true. That's good for riding a bike. And the reserve parking for your $80,000 truck. I did see that. I did see there's several reserve spots. And you walk better than I do. That is true. There are reserve spots and handicap reserve spots at the truck stops. I do see that. There are sidewalk cutouts here. We're scheduling another 30 brand new Cascadias. Okay, but due to the shortage, it's hard to say we're going to get all 30, unfortunately. GP Transco. Yeah, I was reading about that the chip shortage is like all the car manufacturers, basically everybody's off. Guy was off last Friday and Monday, and he's going to be off this Friday. One of my neighbors works at the Subaru plant. I'm like, dude, you're home all the time. I see you every day. Oh, well, we're off. There's no chips or whatever. So, yeah, so absolutely. And that's half the town basically works at Subaru here. The only Subaru plant in the United States. You need to add a driver cleanliness to your criteria. Some of these places hire filthy scrubs, Brian. See, this is another thing, though. It's too subjective. It would have to be just a specific thing, like Greyhound. Do you mandate Greyhound? Let's put it that. Since a driver requested Greyhound, I never thought about that. Okay, no mandated Greyhound. How about that? So, see, stuff like that. That's why I need to get it out there and change that. So I would see a driver with a Greyhound and think, oh no, but okay, no mandated Greyhound. How about that? But drivers, the anonymity of the road, and sometimes it attracts a person that may not be as clean. And it would seem like companies would do something about that. I'm always surprised to see a company driver who looks horrible. And it isn't like they're big or whatever. It's that they're not clean. They smell really bad. They must smell like that all the time. Their clothes are filthy. Like, why aren't you doing laundry? Everyone wants to go buy new clothes, something, you know. Well, Bill, does GP Transco have any spotter trucks? Are there any spotter trucks on the way up there? And what's the story with the Tesla truck up there? I knew you were going to get a Tesla truck. Is that coming, or did that get pushed back again? Grabber the size of a storage area. Well, as Larry the Cable Guy said, you know, that's for power squeezing. That's what those handles are on the wall. I love it. Schuster is a good company. All right, you know what? Get some Schuster drivers here. They had another raise over at Schuster, right? So they're starting their pay even higher. Internationals with Bull Guards, Schuster, longer loads. So absolutely, right? So right, they just have another raise coming there. Not yet. Our VP of maintenance has your phone number and knows who to call when you get a spotter truck in. You're going to need one there pretty soon. Remember when I sent you something from a friend about the company's lowball breakdown pay, $100, 12 free, no pay at home time? Well, broke down. Yeah, they don't qualify exactly. You can't send people and have them break down for a long time and not pay them anything. I mean, that's not going to happen. GP, when we get our OTJB or post-trip interview? OTJB. CDLI put together a great video showing the temperature inside the truck during a summer day in the South. Oh, really? What was the outside temperature in that? I didn't see that. I didn't even see that at all. But it was 86. Now, the driver did have the windows open on this truck at the Loves that I saw, but I comment that it's 86 degrees. I know it's hot walking around out there. I cannot imagine sleeping in a truck even with the windows open at 86. There's just no way. No way. How hot would that be in there? Plus, look, if you had to do that, after a while, it seems like the truck get a little bit funky inside. You don't want to get that funky. He's got like 20 Ozium things in there or whatever. Let's take a vote on the restaurant. We'll meet up at Bruzo's on Division or Tom's Steakhouse. I'll take the steakhouse, right? Route 64, both fabulous western suburbs, Melrose Park, and both are famous. Really, I never heard of either of those places. And of course, your revenue from all this handicap traffic is zero. That's true. Well, that's true. That's true. If you are on here in town, at least, if you're on some kind of public assistance, any kind, really, you can get a handicapped or a free bus pass. And look, if people are willing to go to work on the bus, I'm in. And if people are handicapped and need to get around, I never care if somebody's in a wheelchair or can't get around. I don't mind paying for them, right? It's fine with me. If you can't work, no problem. I'll help you get around. That's what it's for, personally. So for me, that kind of stuff, I don't mind that. It's for people who abuse the system is one thing. If you really can't get around, right, get on the bus and we'll take you to the store, whatever we need to do. Absolutely. Kids here, it's $1 a year for a bus pass. I don't know why they make a bad dollar. You make it and the government takes it. I need Trump to do my taxes. He does them good, right? Well, the thing about taxes people don't realize, when you run a business, you get your money first and the government gets what's left. And when you're an employee, the tax system is set up so you pay them first and then you get what's left. So that's why people should run a business and get then just that increases the net revenue in your pocket. And your L pocket, that's a little foreign language right there. I'd rather hitchhike through Mexico than take a Greyhound. I can't imagine somebody says no Greyhound, but then I guess, you know what? Maybe people say, look, I'm afraid to fly. So I guess that's a possibility. The two-legged raccoon, Marco, you don't want that kind in the truck either. Right. Greyhound's nothing like traveling at the speed of snot. I mean, I cannot imagine 20-some stops, all through the night and day for days and days. Just hitchhike, CRST, just get on something. Quantify like a student is another unacceptable word. I shouldn't have said that, right? I'll have to have some kind of translator here to do that. We can't afford Greyhound. Can you up a few train cars for us at PAM? Like that guy that does videos about that? Yeah. We can't even afford Greyhound here because we're too busy settling lawsuits that we constantly settle without admitting any guilt, of course. May Trucking will Greyhound you there, and once you get a truck, you're not allowed to idle in the heat unless you get permission. See, no, it should be up to you on whether you need to idle or not. And a company, if they had an APU or an EPU, the company should be able to say, all right, we're giving you an APU which you can run, so the truck, you're going to need a 10% idle time. That's fine, because they're saying you can run the APU or whatever all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. But to say you need to get permission, well, I'm not 9. Okay, do you have to get a permission to go to the bathroom too? Do you need a hall pass? See why I don't like these kind of places? That kind of stuff is ridiculous. Tesla semis are not here, and Elon won't return our calls. You call Elon Musk? We'll be one of the first to get them, though, since we pre-ordered 2 of them right when they were announced. Oh, nice. I thought that they said that, they were thinking about getting production started, so we'll see how that goes. I can't wait to see one somewhere on the road. Chip shortage, maybe they should buddy up to Frito-Lay for help. They're hiring too, by the way. The Kenneth Allen Law Firm loves taking on scummy truck lines. Ken's in Valparaiso. He doesn't do the billboards. I mean, the Hammer, he's the king of the billboards. He's standing on a semi in one of the billboards, and he's all over here. If you've been hurt in an accident, call the Hammer. Wash the trucks, not the drivers. Road Float Express. Drivers should have a little bit of pride, at least in their appearance, somewhat, to at least not smell the place up. That's all I'm asking. I don't care if you got a million tattoos. I don't care what your shirt, or what. But hey, take a shower every once in a while. 30 pairs of underwear, 30 pairs of socks, and 30 pairs of pants and shirts. That's a lot of stuff. I can't imagine doing the laundry at the TA. Bill says, if I'm not the best you've ever seen, I will walk away. Well, Bill is the best that there's ever been for that job. I hope the New York City Capitol in Albany doesn't get rioted. I wonder if that would happen. I doubt it. I don't think anything's going to happen there. Maybe I made my bed today. Does that mean I could be a flatbedder? It depends. Can you bounce a quarter off of it? And is your truck in showroom new condition? I saw in England 3 bunk in Vegas, 115, all of them inside, windows down. Oh my gosh. Now even them, from what I understand, at 80, you can idle the truck. So if it was that, how they could run the truck, what are they doing? I mean, how horrible. That truck would be 140 degrees inside that truck, even with a couple of windows down. There'd be no way to even tolerate it. Can you imagine the sweat just dripping off the top of that third bunk onto the floor? I mean, how many Oziums do you need on there? I'm disabled and can't keep a job no matter what industry. If you're truly disabled, you should apply for and get disability. Seriously. I mean, and if you're disabled, I don't mind you getting disability. Looking into freight brokering, you can keep the part of it without doing the work, and then you can help more people and make more money. Absolutely. I depend on my underwear. Very good. One of those days I want to call the Hammer, tell him I was in a truck accident, and he will cover me. And at the last moment, tell him I am the truck driver. I don't know if he does that side of it. William, give Mark a thumbs up for constantly delivering in his lives. Well, I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer is based in Houston. Is he actually called the Texas Hammer? So is this Hammer? Is he Is he have subsidiaries around the country? Can you buy into that? Afraid to fly, but not afraid to Greyhound. We're going to need you to take a drug test before. Yeah, that should have been something you said. Look, if you want to be on Greyhound, maybe you're not right for our company. I want to test the Harley. They have it. It's called the Livewire. Harley Davidson has made an electric motorcycle called the Livewire. Look it up. I think it's $29,995. It has a range of around 90 miles. So, yeah, awesome. May Trucking was my first driving job at Big Country. I got my year with them and walked away and never looked back. Exactly. What was the idle policy there when you were there? I know for a while they charged drivers for it, even though they said they didn't. They got sued about it, and so they defended it in court. I switched to G-strings to save storage space. You just go commando every day, and that saves even more space. Those in the short shorts in the summer, those drivers have an aversion to bathing, even when showers are free. I don't understand it. Why don't people get out there? Did they see all these stars that have been out talking? Oh, I don't shower for 3 weeks or whatever. I'm like, well, yeah, because you're a big star. You probably pay people to do it for you. I get Social Security and depend on and $794. Just not enough. Ooh, I've been in SSI for 27 years. Okay, yeah, that would be pretty meager living. I will say that. SSI and $794 is meager. Yes, he does. He started so he franchises law firms out. You know what? I bet that makes more money than a lot of franchises. Probably better off doing that than getting a Subway franchise. Just go park in the shade. It's not as bad. It's only 115 in the shade, Why aren't they running the truck? Is there a fuel bonus there that I'm missing out on? That trainer, one of them's a trainer. If there's three, one's a trainer. So why isn't the trainer like, hey man, we're running this truck. He's making $2,400 a week or whatever. And I know because several of them have sent me their checks. When they have two students constantly, it's well over $2,000 a week, and most of them don't drive. So, and they send me their checks and say, Mark, you're stupid. I don't have to drive at all. I'm like, okay. GP Transco's heading out. Have a great day, everybody. All right, well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Let us know when that Tesla comes in. I'd love to see it. People want to call GP Transco? There's a number for GP Transco. How about making 90 your first year? Whew. I wish. Boy, why wasn't that out when I was driving on the road? Longer loads also for the manhole. Yes, by request only. If I don't shower for a few days, I'm going to need some Gold Bond. Help me, Shaq. Cash, you're going to need more than Gold Bond. You already beat you out to keep yourself from sticking together. No more than a day on the road, right? Plan that stuff out. People's like, oh, I don't have time, and then they sit somewhere for 10 hours. Go sit at a truck stop. I just hated sitting at customers. Hated it. No bathrooms. You get there at night. The last time I did, I got woke up. I called my friend. I'm like, oh, I'm going to this place. I forget. It was somewhere like in the Jersey line somewhere. He's like, oh, yeah, there's parking. He goes, I've been there a million times. You can park in the back. So I go park in the back. Sure enough, there's like barely any parking. He's an idiot. I don't know why I call him. And I get there, I don't know, 1 or 2 in the morning. I had like a 10 or 11 appointment, though, in the morning. I'm like, okay, great. So go to sleep at like 4. They're banging on the door. Hey, trucking answers, get up. And I'm like, what? He goes, oh, yeah, I already broke your seal. Back in door 15. I'm like, what do you mean you broke? I'm not doing, oh, no, we'll get you done. Just go. So here we go, right? And so then I'm up. I'm all tired. I'm like, forget this. So now I don't show up to places until my appointment time. I go find my own parking. That way they don't wake you up. I'll take a shower at least twice a month, even if I don't need to. In the winter, at least, right? Maybe they don't know how to turn the key. Somebody's got to get in that truck and show them. That's way hot to be in that truck. Maybe somebody should check. Are they all dead in there? I mean, it's hot enough to die. I put some miles on the electric Harley. Good times. Road Blood, you've driven one? Look, it seems fast or whatever. Absolutely. All that part of it, you're not going to get the rumble of a Harley. But all the rest of it, yeah. But I mean, for 30, which is a lot for a motorcycle as it is, you're not getting a lot of range. And if you saw, there have been a number of tests, and I read a lot of tests about these electric vehicles. Here again, they had a tough time getting the thing charged. You went somewhere and the chargy thing didn't work, EV Go or whatever didn't work. You had to go somewhere else. It's a pain right at the moment. It's not developed like it needs to be. With a low range like that, you're stopping every hour. It's an in-town bike only. Cash King Trucking, Warren Buffett must have been a trainer at USA Truck. They make money when they sleep. Oh, very nice. That's true. That's what he said. If you don't make money when you sleep, you're never going to make it, he goes. We need a Tesla APU. They have EPUs, John. They do have electric EPUs. A 3-bunk truck reminds me of those giant stack of sweaty gyro meat. Yeah. I can't imagine having 3 in the truck. 2 is a lot. Like, if you don't know that person, that's a lot. Even if you know them, it's still a lot. So 3 in there? No. It's like 3 on a match. All right, not good. Isn't that what they say? Well, not idle. Only if they disconnect the AC or heater at the company headquarters. Then otherwise they can go, exactly. Look, yeah, it's hot today. Air's running here, of course. And even if I wasn't here, the air would be running. I don't turn the air off here. Now, in the truck, I guess you could turn it off, but if you got to sleep or whatever, you don't, like some of them will say, well, just turn it down really cold for an hour and then turn the truck off. Well, I mean, I'm not really into that as a company driver. I don't do that at home. I'll turn it to 65 and then I'll set my alarm for an hour and turn the air off and hope I get through the night. No. I mean, that's just not reasonable to do. It isn't reasonable. And they want to have drivers on the road. They need to let them be comfortable. And so, at least I thought for the mark of excellence, it needs to be an APU, an EPU, or unlimited idle time. That's okay. If they'll let you run the truck, then that's fine with me too. And if the APU or EPU doesn't work, then it should be unlimited idle. I think that's fair. Electric Harley is ridiculous. It goes against the whole Harley philosophy. I know they're like, oh, this is where the future's going and we're going to get young people. I'm like, you're not getting young people to ride a Harley, even if it's electric. Okay, because for 30, all right, for 10 grand, I can go get a Ninja or something. I can go get a nice road bike. For 20, right, I can get a really nice road bike. So 30, I think, is a lot for a 90-mile range, proof of concept bike. It wouldn't be my choice to get a electric Harley, certainly. I think a smaller electric motorcycle would be a good commuter. But can't be 30 grand. Holy mackerel, that's expensive. There are some people that only pay $30,000 for a car. An electric Harley, but how they constantly get attention by revving their engines. And plus, when they sit there, the light sits there rumbling around, right? And they got to wear that shirt, all the Harley shirts and everything. Will have electric, a lightning bolt on it. For new drivers, do your research. Doesn't have to be a mega carrier. That's true. There's plenty of places to go that will treat you better than no idle. And here's a Greyhound, 2,000-mile Greyhound ride. You don't have to tolerate that. Already, you're going to have problems if they're going to pay $49 for you to show them at their headquarters. How do you feel about Western Express having a kill switch in their trucks? What is a kill switch? What do you mean by Western having a kill switch in their trucks? Put cards in the spokes at electric Harley. That would make it better. Then you could at least hear it. Because the guy did say, and when you hear it, when he gets on it, you can hear it kind of whir a little bit because the motor in it, the electric motor. But it didn't sound like a Harley right now. Why are you going to rev them big pipes up? How do I feel? Let's see. Of course, it's not necessarily the price. The thing is, it's bad. It is cool. It's cool. But I think because of the price point and the range and that, I don't think it's a good buy yet. Because of what it does. It's cool. It's the road test I saw of it on Motor Week. On two-wheeling, they drove one. Fast, right? Nice. Looks cool. It's just not up yet, I don't think. Those 3 bunk trucks got to smell like rotten spam. It cannot be great in there, especially if you have a lot of nights where you're not running it or sitting. I noted over the weekend that there were many England trucks sitting, at the truck stop instead of out driving. Now, I guess the other side of it could be they had so many miles during the week that they're parked. So that's the other side. I don't know. Didn't talk to any of them. So maybe they ran their hours out. That's where they're sitting. And if you run your hours out and the company expects you to do 34 hours on the road, same thing. They need to APU the whole time or, run the truck. Either way. They go longer with electric straight pipes. There should be pipes on it. I thought there should have been pipes on it. I thought that would look good. George Wilson, thank you for your time doing the spot. Well, look, I can't do this without you. I appreciate that, but without everybody coming, it's nothing. So I appreciate everybody being here every week. Get a cheesy Schuster ADA lure to get your idling AC. Tell them that you're 300 pounds and sweat too much. AC, unfortunately, no. They ruled for May on that when May said you can't idle. It was Oregon Supreme Court, but they ruled and said no, air conditioning does not advance the load. So they're not. They don't have to have air. You don't have to have it. It's not a requirement, and it's already been ruled against. So that's a disappointment, right? I wonder if you could do a. I wonder if that would be interesting if your doctor could write a note out and say I want an accommodation. I wonder how that would work. Third bunk sweat, yeah, brutal. It's brutal for the person on bunk number 1 on the bottom. Is it raining in here? Oh, yeah, it's not raining. Maybe get GP Transco to rent me an electric Harley to come up to Chicago. Oh, not a fan of flying. Oh, you should talk to them if they would rent you a car. See if Harley has rental bikes. You can rent a Harley now. I don't know if you can one-way the Harleys, but maybe if you're going to go back home to get your stuff or whatever, talk to. It's worth. Look, everything's worth asking for. All I can say is no. Anything you want in your life, ask for it. Because what's the worst? Somebody tells you no, and you're right where you started. So don't ever think like, I better not ask for that. Go ask for it. You won't get if you don't ask. Brian will be honored to accept the first mark of honor. I meet all the requirements. All right. Well, look, if you have a place, write to me. And if you do, I'm serious about putting out a mark of excellence for companies. A trike is worth $35,000, so there's no way I pay for the electric bike. Oh, see, the first people that get them have to pay, to get the thing out. 35 is, we're looking at serious money now. 35,000 here, 35,000 there, as they say pretty soon. It's serious money. Jason, optimized idle is terrible in the summer. I do have the Kenworth auto start system. I use it in the winter, but no way in the summer. I hated optimized idle. I had it on a Freightliner Classic. Remember that, the short nose Classic. And it's horrible, and I imagine it's horrible for the people parked next to me too. You wake up a little sweaty and the truck starts, and you get a little better. And I had it set tight at 4 degrees. You could set it wider. So it was just horrible. The hotter out it was, the worse it was. Trying to imagine a Hills Angel biker on electric Harley. Hey, you guys, it's all young people in hair buns and skinny jeans with lattes. You guys get away from our Starbucks so we can get our lattes. And they go in there just snapping their fingers when they walk in there all together. Truck driving is in a G-string. Now that's a mental image that will never be scratched from my mind. They got to stay cool in there somehow, right? I will say if you purchase one of Cash King's trucks used, you may want to change the seat. Those divots in the seat or something. William, do the 3 bunk drivers have 3 separate bottles, or do they share one? They share them at the same time. That's the beauty of the place. They want you to feel like family, so you all literally share them together. And they go, the trainer says, everything we do now, we do together. He goes, so let's start with, this. New movie idea, Snakes on a Truck. Maybe Western Express. Is Wesley available? Wesley Snipes, is he available for that kind of thing? That's always my question. That's who I would want in it. Don't forget, if you wear it, make it a parrot. That's me as a baby, by the way. Wearing my first blue parrot. My bell keeps moving. GP Transco was here today, which I appreciate. Coming in, answering questions every week. That's pretty awesome. Hey, how about calling GP Transco and get treated like an actual professional in the industry? Can you imagine that? It's possible. Schuster's giving out another pay raise. As a driver wrote to me and said, hey, Schuster's giving a pay raise. I go, I will update their card. Schuster, up to 65 cents a mile. Can you believe it? Fleet Nav Systems was here today, and I appreciate them being here today for answering questions. Don't forget about Dot Foods. People always have to eat. Did you know that? No matter if they make money, they have to eat. And, of course, Jay from Auto Transport Intel. I always like to say Jay's out there. Jay got me started by kicking me in the butt, so I was out here repping for Jay. But so I have to go head out to work, as always, every week, or they will gripe at me. I use it with the bunk heater to turn on to keep the batteries. Oh, right, yeah, okay, in the wintertime. But in the summer, it just didn't keep me cool enough in the summertime. Especially it was humid. The air needs to really run all the time in a truck in the summer. It gets too humid. I like to sleep when it's cool, really cool. But everybody wants a different temperature, and the company shouldn't be the one that determines that. To be comfortable, you need to sleep at your proper temperature, whatever that is. And so they need to provide that. They should want to also, just for you to be safe out there. So that you can get a good night's sleep. It's hard enough to sleep. Maybe the GP Transco trucks have an electric Harley on the catwalk. Road Float Express. Would you be in then? You might give them a call for that and switch over. They go, every truck now has an electric Harley, a live wire, which is what it's called for people that like to look it up later. And drivers get a new live wire with, when they come and work here. And we just mount it on the back of the truck with like a little ramp. And when you're on your off time or whatever, you can drive the thing around and plug it in the truck when you're driving, so it's always charged. That's actually a pretty good idea. I wonder if they would do that for like driver of the year or something. That's not a bad idea at all. Put it on there and hook it up to the truck through an inverter so it stays charged. So every time you stop and want to use it, it's charged up. Wow. You might really have something going on there. I can't idle 55. The Hammer, Learner, and Rowan, I reckon, need a check. Sweet James are multiple state. Really? I didn't know that. How about Sam? What about Sam, that other guy? I'll have to look him up. There's another guy named Sam here. Sam Nunn. He's already got your accident report. That's what he says in all his commercials. Call Sam. He's already got your accident report because he goes and collects all the accident reports every day. So that had slower trucks than Prime. Dot Foods trucks roll. Okay, Dot Foods. If there's a driver going slow for Dot, it's not because Dot has their speed turned down. They wouldn't be up on a card. Believe me, they've passed me because they have a terminal in Indiana. So I see them going through Indianapolis all the time. It's out on the edge near Ohio. Yeah, they are not any 58-mile-an-hour trucks. They named it the England Sword Fight Road Float, except there are no winners in that sword fight. Believe me, there's no winners in it. And that's for sure. And I want to thank you, Road Float Express, for being here. But I do have to head out. Brian Walker was here today. Roger Penske, thank you for being here. A lot of people here today. John Zay Black was here today. I'll never get it right, probably. Caleb was here today, which I appreciate. Jason Jefferson, thank you for being here today. William Huglet, Ken P. Kelly Patterson was here today. Creature 937, Brian Walker, Big Country. A lot of people in today. Probably from the heat. Bill Anderson was here today. It's good to see you. Elijah Smith, Marco Hernandez was here today. Cassius King Trucking, thank you for being here. Donkey Bite was here, and for that mental picture, by the way, also. That we will all have from now on. Nevada Trucking and Trails. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, Joan Harper, thank you for being here today. And Michael Britton, where am I go off to here? Oh, right there. And, Fast Joe was here today. Trucking Journeys was here today. Thank you for that today. Nathaniel was first. But let's see, where's this thing here? Oh, right, there's that. And I do have to head out. Should be a podcast tomorrow and a video. So check those out. And download the podcasting app, whatever podcasting app you use. That's how you get a podcast. And just search for Trucking Answers. And it's on there. Let me know what you think. Maybe it's horrible. You go, hey, Mark, it's horrible. Stop doing it. So at least you don't have to look at me. And so that's what people find to be the best part of it. I'm off to work. Thanks for watching. Be safe and cool today. Certainly. Run your truck. Okay. And get a good night's sleep. And we'll see you on the next video.